So you want to talk impactful. You want to talk important. You want to talk the biggest, the baddest, the toughest, the roughest. Well, that's not exactly what we're going to talk about, but it's pretty close because non-conference games can get ugly too. It's not like Alabama's, Auburn's, Ohio State, Michigan's. It's not quite like those, but they can get pretty rough. They can be pretty big. Um, So let's talk about that, shall we? Because there's a lot of non-conference games. You've got Texas, Ohio State, LSU, Clemson. You got TCU, North Carolina. You got Bama, Florida State. You've got all these games, but which ones make the top 10 and are the most impactful? Well, sit down, get your popcorn, get your tea, get your soda, whatever you like, and get your glow sticks if you got any, because we're here to talk about it. We're
Tell
going to
the
discuss.
cashiers at
We're going
Publix
to debate.
before Publix closes.
Yes, exactly. Tell everyone you know because this is going to be a good show, and we're going to talk about our top 10 most impactful non conference games for the college football season upcoming. But as always, I am Sports Talk with Austin, along with my good pals. Ben, you ruined my intro. Gosh dang it, Ben. Anywho, you're fired, Ben. And you too, Jackson, you're fired. It's just me and you, Jeffrey. My good pal Jackson, who's recently fired, and my good buddy Jeffrey. How are we doing tonight, fellas?
Doing really great, and we got Ben in the chat. Appreciate you for stopping by. It says Oregon State and Oregon equal number one, obviously. Well, I'm sorry to spoiler alert on you, but I don't quite think any of us have that game as our number one best non-conference game, because for one, it shouldn't even be a non-conference game. That's how pathetic the current state of college football is, that is a non-conference. So that's number one. And number two, I mean, it just isn't. But I'm saying it should be a conference game. So we'll see where, if it's on anybody's list. We'll definitely get to that. But besides all that, appreciate being here, Ben. Excited to do this show with you guys again. It's like our third straight week going live. Whole streak going. It's been fun, and it's gonna be another barn burner of a show. It's gonna be a blast. And a lot of debates on whether our lists are garbage or good or mediocre, mid, whatever you want to say.
Well, oh man, Ben's famous quote: "How dare you? How dare you?" I love that quote. Like, note to self: we need to get like a T-shirt of Ben going, "How dare you?" Because it's like I can't quit thinking of "How dare you" without Ben saying it like that. Like, it's just so funny, man. I love it.
Oh yeah. Need some great merch.
So,
oh yeah. You got Troy V saying Stanford, Hawaii winner gets like a that they wear. That's a good one. I don't want to say that's comment of the night yet, because we'll get some great comments, I'm sure. But that's a good one. That's a good one. We got also and we got Trojan Fight both here tonight as well. So we already got a good.
Good evening to you too, Caden. I hope you had a great day at Hooters.
I'm sure it was not as lovely as he would lead you to believe, but you know what? We'll never know. I don't want to know, but
Anywho, okay. So obviously we're gonna get into our honorable mentions, the ones that just missed the list. But here's the thing. This is a little different than what we've done. So we made one combined list. Me, Jeffrey, and Jackson agreed on 10 games between the three of us and put them in order. So there is no separate list here. These are all ones we agreed on. And feel free, if you disagree with us, to leave a comment in the chat. Feel free. Like, this is what this is about. If you want to discuss it, by all means, do so. I mean, this is what we're here for. We're here for the discussion, the debate, and the analysis. But this is one big list. We all three agreed on it. So, or we at least tried to. Now, there are some games in here, which we'll get to, where maybe 2 out of 3 of us disagreed on. And you could tell who would disagree and who would not. It's kind of like what me and Jeffrey did once before, if y'all were there for those. Somewhere similar to those. But it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. But
We got Scotty
Starting
B
with our honorable
and
mentions.
Oregon at Penn State. It's like that is a conference game. So that doesn't count. That is a conference game. I mean, like when we do our conference list, that story. But that is a conference game. Appreciate being Scotty, but yeah, that's not going to be here because of the fact that we're doing non-conference. So
Yeah.
point that out.
Yes. Yes. So let's start with our honorable mentions. And Jackson, we'll begin with you first. And then Jeffrey, we'll go to you, and then I'll be last. So Jackson, what are 5 to 6 honorable mentions you would like to mention? Could be any games.
Well, I got the thing about like TCU, SMU. That's one honorable mention because it's the last time we're going to see the Irons, that rivalry for the longest time. We don't know whether they're working on a deal, whether to bring it back in the late 2020s or not. But 2025 is the last scheduled matchup for the SMU TCU rivalry. Although we don't know what network it's going to be on week 4 yet, but we'll definitely wait and see. I put Florida State in the honorable mentions list as well. I get it. Florida State sloppy, and Florida, they're just going to cream them. Although it's nothing like the Tim Tebow, Urban Meyer era, but still though, it's always fun watching Florida State every year on rivalry week. Iowa State was obviously like a good one right there. Like we debated heavily on whether to put that on the top 10. Like I lobbied like a politician going on 24 hours straight. But it's like, because I mean, it's the silence.
He tried to filibuster us.
Oh yeah, like the senator from a certain upper eastern state a few months ago. But still, though, I'm like, you don't. And I did also have like Pittsburgh, West Virginia as an honorable mention. So that was another one because I mean, the backyard brawl. I mean, it's like we're not going to see it for a few years, but then it's coming back in 2029, I believe. So I'm going to enjoy that while I can for 2025. Boise State, Notre Dame, and Georgia Tech, Colorado are other honorable mentions. Because I mean, like Boise State, they're going to give somebody a dogfight on the road. Like Spencer Danielson has brought back that Chris Peterson flavor in Boise, Idaho. And it would not surprise me if we saw Notre Dame possibly getting upset by either Arkansas or Boise State, because we've seen Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame lose that one game a year. Case in point, Marshall and Stanford in 2022, Northern Illinois last season, Boise State could be that game. Not saying it will, but I'm saying it could. And you got that Georgia Tech Colorado game. And as Ben put in the chat, it might be, he doesn't know whether it'll be most impactful, doesn't know, but still, it's going to be an interesting one. I mean, the winner of that game is going to have a better year. I mean, Georgia Tech feels like that surprise team. Sky B, I did think about having Kansas, Missouri, Oregon State, Washington State on those honorable mentions, but the fact is Kansas having that disappointing year in 2024, that kind of just like, nope, you're gone. Bye-bye. But like Washington State, Oregon State, they're kind of in a crappy position, unfortunately. For me to go, I'm going to put that in top 10 or honorable mentions. So it's like they were not quite on that list. So sorry about that, everybody. Austin, let's get to your honorable mention. Are we getting Jeffries?
We're doing Jeffrey's first, then mine.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So as we were sitting here, though, I kind of added a couple because the fact you guys like, in the chat, Jackson kind of sparred my memory on a few because I had like 4 or 5 written down, and then after that, like I kind of forgot a few of these. So yeah, yeah. Saying Jackson still hasn't recovered from Kansas last year. They're dead to him now. Yeah, that was the thing, man. You thought they were gonna be so good, and they just sucked, man.
I thought they were gonna go to the.
I had it with Florida State. I had them going 8-4, and they went 2-10.
Oh, I had them win Big 12. They kind of made me look like a horse's ass.
You said Kansas was gonna make the title game, right?
Yeah, I had win the Big 12. That was a
It went
big
like
ass
5-7
loss.
or something. That was
That was terrible.
that was not good.
Well, to be fair, I mean everyone always has a stinker. Let's be honest. If you are making predictions, everyone has a bad prediction. I mean, Jackson's was Kansas. Jeffrey, I'm sure you had one. I know I had one. Although my Florida one made me look like a genius, but I
Didn't
digress.
age
Go
that
ahead.
bad. You actually did pretty good with that one. I was really impressed because I thought they were going to be a lot worse. But Billy Napier, good job with Lagway. All right, so I do have to read Cade the Diesel Freak with a $2 super chat. Appreciate that. Cade says Ohio State versus Texas is going to be a bloodbath. I would prefer the word, dogfight or barn burner, something like that. But bloodbath, it could be. Texas could win by
Spanking's a good word.
Ohio State might win by a lot. You never know. Looking forward to that game. We'll be talking about it later on the show.
Oh, it will.
But to my non-conference games, my just missed the cut, and this is one I wanted in the top 10. As you heard with Jackson saying that Iowa State that he really lobbied for, the one I wanted in the top 10, but because of our rules, which we will outline and it will make all sense later when we get to it, I wanted A&M and Notre Dame. That game the top 10. It should absolutely have been 10, but we will explain why it's not later. That game, A&M obviously is going to be a quality SEC team. We don't know how quality. Probably 8-4 level, maybe a little better, maybe a little worse than that. They're going to be good, and that's the game against Notre Dame. Notre Dame probably going to be a top 5 to 10 team again. It's going to be fun. It was a good game this year, even though Notre Dame did pull it out late. But that's a really good game. That's a good non-conference game, and definitely should be in the top 10, in my opinion. Then at number 12, I've got Syracuse, Tennessee. I think that is also a quality game. But the problem is that Tennessee losing Nico and then Syracuse not having, and we don't know how good they're going to be. That kind of lowered the game, in my opinion. I think that it could have been more of a top 10 game last year than it was this year, or will be this year. But I still think it's going to be a good game regardless. At number 13, I have Iowa State. I think that obviously, with it being the in-state rivalry, both like as Jackson's pointed out before, that's always a close game. I don't think it's going to be that impactful for anything like major, like playoffs or anything, but it's going to be a good game. It's always a good game between those two schools. Both teams right now are probably, they're looking to be borderline top 25 teams. So definitely, excited about the Cy-Hawk game as always, and I think it'll be a quality game. Up next, got Georgia Tech, Colorado at number 14. I think that is a good game. I think that is obviously going to get hype. With Dion and Georgia Tech, it's going to be pretty solid. I think Georgia Tech already is favored in that game. So, it's a kind of a 50-50-esque game because it's at Colorado. It's going to be fun, but definitely not top 10 for the non-con. But it's a quality game nonetheless. At number 15, I've got probably Notre Dame, Boise. No, Notre Dame, Arkansas, and Boise. I mean, really, those are interchangeable. Honestly, I would actually say they're pretty interchangeable. I don't have both honorable mentions, so I just picked Notre Dame, Boise, because I think maybe Boise, they might be at that time of the season, maybe more of a headline matchup than Arkansas will be, but you can really interchange either of those. Then after that, I've got a couple left, but I really don't care as much past this. Probably, I guess, Florida State, just because it's Florida State at 16. Baylor, Auburn at 17. TCU, SMU at 18, and then Pitt, West Virginia at 19. And then after that, it's just pretty irrelevant. I mean, you're getting to like South Carolina, Virginia Tech stuff past that. So I think that's like as far as my honorable mentions are going to extend to. I think that good games there. Games I'm looking forward to watching, most of those, but not games that are going to really matter all that much in the national landscape, which our top 10 definitely will.
And I will say this too. On my honorable mentions, I've got like 5. Obviously for me, Syracuse, Tennessee is like my biggest honorable mention. You can ask Jeffrey and Jackson, but I was in a dogfight to get them to put it in the top 10 list. You can even ask them. They will even tell you I was fighting for it.
We can
Like my
vouch.
life. Yes. I was being the politician for that game, but Syracuse, Tennessee, I really do think this is a make or break type game for Syracuse. Because a lot of people think Fran Brown could win the ACC with Syracuse, which if you beat Tennessee and a quality SEC opponent could go a long way in deciding that as well. SMU TCU, the Iron Skillet game, like Jackson said, could this be the end? Is this the end? Iowa State, a classic Cyhawk game. Um, Obviously another one. Kind of a little bit of a bias pick. Louisville JMU. James Madison has been known to give teams trouble within the Power Conference. I would not be surprised if that's a bit of a dogfight. I I could see that Auburn Baylor. I think that's going to be fun. Colorado Georgia Tech. There's quite a few. Pitt West Virginia, obviously for the historical factor. Those are kind of some of my honorable mentions. Um, Another one, Alabama Wisconsin. I think that could become impactful based on what happens with Florida State Alabama. Because if Bama loses, that game almost becomes a must win. So I am looking forward to that game as well and seeing what happens with that as far as my
Well, and
honorable mention.
it could be
Mhm.
impactful for Luke Fickle's seat for 2025 and where it stands with him, because there's a lot of
Mhm.
people that suspect he could be fired at any moment. All he
Mhm.
has to do is slip on a banana peel or yell the F
Mhm.
bomb at some reporter, and it's like,
Mhm.
boom, you're gone.
That's a
But he
good
And
doesn't
point
look
on
like the kind.
Alabama. Was go ahead, Jackson. Go ahead.
But yeah, he doesn't look like the kind of guy that yells an F bomb. He's just a guy that kind of looks somehow related to Adam Sandler somehow.
Honestly, that is pretty close comparison there. Honestly, but yeah, the thing with that game on Alabama Wisconsin, to me, the reason that I don't have it anywhere near it, I see what you do though, Austin, like have it as a just like as an edge honorable mention. The reason why I don't is because the game's at Alabama. If it was
Mhm.
at Camp Randall like last year, then I probably would put it there. Well, I was kind of going off games I felt would be good. You know what I'm saying? Like the honorable mentions for me are games that are going to be good, but they're not
Mhm.
impactful nationally, which none of these games really are. Really, the only game
Well,
that nationally kind of matters is Texas A&M Notre Dame. That game absolutely could matter nationally.
well,
At
here's
Colorado, the Syracuse, Tennessees, those type games don't matter as much nationally. The only way they will is in those lesser leagues like the Big 12 ACC. If one of those teams ends up surprising and wins the conference, other than that, they're not really that impactful nationally. I just think they're going to be good.
so Jeffrey, let me counter this. Like I said, I don't know if you heard me or not, but do you realize if Kalen DeBoer loses to Florida State, he's got to win this game, or else Bama Nation's gonna be on his tail. Like, and Jackson, you both know that's true.
Oh, the chat will go. Will
Oh,
go with him.
absolutely. I mean,
Yeah,
if you're going off impactful based off of a what if scenario, then yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Oh,
Um,
chat will be throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
but unless that occurs, then that game is not really that
Mm-hmm.
important. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely again see why you have it in there. I mean, I just if me and Jackson had that game in our honorable mentions, then we would have been really biased. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
That's
well,
why a certain team that Stephen Cherry with my one of my favorite coaches that I always bring up is nowhere near the list, because obviously if I had a game from that team, then it would be a joke. It would be a disaster. It would be a meltdown chat if I had a game from them. So I just went with games I thought would be good. I mean, Notre Dame Boise could be good. Pitt West Virginia is
mm-hmm.
all. I mean, they're just solid games. Bama
So
Wisconsin. I'm expecting Bama to win that game by a lot, but you
Oh,
never know.
they'll beat. Oh
So
yeah, they'll beat
this,
Wisconsin's
so
eyes out.
we beat them by
so
40 at Camp Randall last year. I mean,
so
Wisconsin
here's the
not
thing.
good. So, but I
I'm
see why.
gonna make I'm gonna make a spoiler. I think Bama, if they do beat Wisconsin, it's going to be no less than 10 points. I think it's going to be a lot closer than y'all give them credit for. I think Wisconsin, I think they're going to keep that game in their head from last year, and they might use that as motivation against you all. It could be
If
one of them.
Bama is close in that game, we've got problems. We've got major problems.
Yeah.
It's bad. That game should not be close. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
don't see.
All
But
If it's close, we got major issues. I mean, that Wisconsin's
but
not a football team. They haven't done
mm-hmm.
anything portal to really impress me at all. So,
What? Well, are we
Oh.
ready for the top 10?
oh, I'm definitely ready for the top 10. I'm excited about
I'm not yet. I'm not done
I
yet.
do know that when we get to number 10, it's already going to start flames in chat. So,
Well, we
I'm
got a
not-
couple. Go
I'm
ahead.
not done yet. Jackson, you're fired again.
Jackson is
Anywho,
not fired again like Patrick was in Oregon.
Jeffrey, you're fired too. I'm running this show by myself. Anywho, so forget about them. Anywho, we're gonna make this all about me now. Anywho, so speaking of that, oh, in all seriousness though, yeah, those are all good honorable mentions. I would say, like you said, the Notre Dame trilogy there, West A&M, Boise. Scotty B mentioned Baylor, SMU. That could be a fun. I don't know if it would be impactful as terms as the landscape. I guess for Baylor maybe more than SMU. I I don't know as far as that goes, but obviously these are all good honorable mentions. I don't think any of these are wrong by no means. I mean, who knows? We could be talking about SMU TCU could be fighting for playoff spots for all we know. I mean, that would be something, but go ahead though, Jackson. Go ahead. You got to read super chats. Go for it.
Well, we got some
Definitely,
super-
I will get to the super chat, but I'll let Jackson introduce him. That's cool.
Are we ready to get started with the top 10? But first, Caden, the Diesel Free says Iowa State is going to beat Iowa, and there's no debate. It's going to be a bloodbath.
Hey, I mean,
Well-
that game's always it's very competitive, and they're always duking it out. So
Well-
I mean, it depends on bloodbath. Like, what do you determine as bloodbath? A blowout, like what we're assuming Caden is talking about with Ohio State, Texas. Obviously, it's going to win by 50 according to Caden. Or in this case, is he saying bloodbath because the game's going to be close? Because this game's always close. So I think Caden is kind of switching up his use of the word bloodbath. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One instance, I think he's talking about a blowout, and in another instance, he's talking about a tightly contested game.
Yeah.
So,
And he
trying to figure that
also
out.
and he also says Notre Dame is losing 4 non-con games.
Well, if Notre Dame loses 4 non-con games, obviously every game's non-con for them because they're not in a conference.
Yeah.
But I mean that would probably entail them losing to a Miami or losing to A&M or losing to Boise or USC. That would be a rough season for Notre Dame, as Caden and a lot of other people call them. If they do that, I highly doubt that, but never
we
know.
love you, Caden.
Has choked before, but they
get a
are
big
better
laugh.
now than they were then when they lost to Marshall and Stanford. So I don't think they would do that. But again, appreciate the super chats, Caden. Always appreciate it. But yeah, I do not think Notre Dame's losing 4 games. But
So before we introduce our top 10, so for everyone, we came up with criteria. So no one can complain about the criteria. We're going to give it to you now. Does this have an impact on obviously your conference? Does this have an impact on the playoffs? TV ratings and money, we took that into account. Are you a draw? Are you got an invested interest? Obviously, the head coaches and team developments. Are you a team that could be a sleeper? Are you a team that could catch fire late?
Are you a game that's going to have Lee Corso's final headgear?
Yes. Jackson, everyone knows Ohio State, Texas is on the list. They just don't know where. Don't spoil it. Jackson's like that.
Say anything.
That's not spoiling anything. Everybody knows the game's on the list, but we're going to determine where it's on the list. It's not spoiling anything. Like it's all good.
Jackson's like that movie spoiler and be like, oh yeah, that girl dies at the end. And it's just like, what? Anywho. But yeah, that's Jeffrey's like, why do I hang out with these people?
Oh my god, let's get started at JM.
Anywho, that's the criteria that we used. And we all had to come to an agreement, or at least 2 out of 3 of us.
It was hard. And some of these, it was more about placement, because most of the top 10 that we had, we agreed with. We only really debated about like the back 3 or 4, whether they should at all. Like the top 5 or 6, I mean, they're pretty clear cut. but we were more placement, like should be 3 or 4, 4 or 5. Other than that, like we pretty much agree with the top 10. And
Stayed up super
also
late.
one thing too, I don't know if Austin wanted to point this out because he did not say in our criteria. We all do have a game that we wanted so bad that we put on. So that's another thing. Like we did do that, which is not what you think. Again, there's no that team in Bloomington on there. It's not like I did that, folks. I didn't do that. But we did argue for 3 games that we really wanted on the top 10 that really others did not want in the top 10. So to make them, but there's still games that do deserve to be right there, we feel. So I just wanted to point.
Yes, and last thing I'll say on this before we introduce it is we called it our locks, which means these were games that if the 2 people that disagreed with that had to change your mind. And obviously we'll take credit. Jeffrey, Jackson, and me will all take credit for the ones that we think that are our locks. So that means if you come at anybody, you come at the person that called the lock. So with that being said, before we start though, Caden has graciously donated us something again.
Caden the Dealer Free with a $5 super chat. Appreciate that, Caden. He said, bloodbath is my definition of a blowout, and if Notre Dame loses 4 games, then I win a bet. Well, I didn't bet anything. Like, I never said the word, I bet this to Caden the man, blah, 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 if blah, blah, blah happens. I did not do that. Will did, though. So that's all on Will with the $500 and everything. That's on Will. But I'm not betting anything on Notre Dame because you know what? If I did do that, then Notre Dame would just do the opposite. That's the way Notre Dame is. So I'm not betting a darn thing about Notre Dame. I just don't think Notre Dame will lose 4 games or more. I don't.
If you're watching this channel,
I'm sure as heck not betting anything on it. But definitely appreciate the super chat. Kane, I do have to ask though: is it Iowa or Iowa State that's going to blow out the other? Because you said that game was a bloodbath. Are you thinking Iowa's going to blow out Iowa State? Iowa State's going to blow out Iowa because again, historically, that's a close game. Just definitely wanted to ask your thoughts on that.
He said.
Oh, you're talking about the will bet though. That's what he's saying that I win a. Boy, yeah, you would win a bet. See, I was thinking you're talking about with us, but yeah, you are right, Caden, because you're talking about the will bet. So yeah, you will win a bet. Well, good for you, because again, I cannot believe Will did that. Our good buddy Will, he is brave. He is brave. The one thing they always say is never bet on your favorite team ever. Because they will heartbreak you, man, if you're wrong. They like that. That'd be like Austin betting on Louisville. Like this year, Louisville's gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna do it, and then lose to Stanford last year. Don't bet on your favorite team. Do not, like ever. So you are right, Cade, and you will win a bet with our good buddy Will. Definitely, I'm hoping for Will that he doesn't lose, but we'll see. But yeah, that's a good point. I had a little oversight there, but I got you. Yeah, you will win.
There you go. Oh, there we go. Caden, the Diesel Freak, put in another.
With another $5 super chat before we can get to our top 10. We appreciate that. Katie says, I said Iowa State wins and they'll beat the living heck out of Iowa. Well,
I'll read it uncensored. For those that want the uncensored version, I said Iowa State wins and they'll beat the living hell out of Iowa. We appreciate the super chat contribution, Caden. And for those that are tuning in, one more Teal super chat on Only Talk Sports. If you're watching this on Only Talk Sports, and Jeffrey from Only Talk Sports is guaranteed to go live next week.
Yes, I will go live next week. That will definitely happen, probably with these guys. But in the future, though, if I meet the goal on live streams, which again I appreciate, Kate, and I appreciate all you guys as support so much. I will try to go live. Like I'm a busy guy, but if I meet the goal, I will try to go live next week, even if it's like 30 minutes or an hour. I will try to do that. I got to bring back live streams. I haven't been doing them as frequently, and so they whether I'm doing it with my good pals Jackson or Austin or Will or just by myself, I will try to fulfill that goal. I appreciate it, Caden. Definitely, it's always very supportive.
So, Jeffrey, put number 10 up on the slideshow. And
here we go, folks. Our number 10 is revealed. Top 10 non-conference game. And this is this guy's good old pick right here. The one he wanted on there.
Yes, this is my lock. This is my lock Week 1, TCU and North Carolina, 8 p.m. on ESPN. The Bill Belichick era begins in Chapel Hill on a Monday night solo stage with the whole world watching. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, North Carolina, this is Jeffrey's lock. This is Jeffrey. Contraire, this was my lock. This is the one I told the two guys. This was the two I told them.
You
I
see the
said,
chat. You already see the chat. Oh
No,
no. Dog
you
and
make
DC
dog
with
and
the
DC
vomit.
throw.
Scotty B with the TCU will beat the crud out of North Carolina. Boring. Now, I will say, I was not going to put this game on it. I was not, because I had a feeling this would be the response. I would have had it way down in my honorable mentions, but for some reason, my good buddy Austin was typing this game, so we decided to allow this one on. We did we'll let one game be on there that probably shouldn't be on, because A&M Notre Dame should have been on. Like, let's be real. But
Okay.
yeah, so I'm just saying, this game, it found its way on the list for that reason alone. Sorry, Austin, but before you can explain, we got some more super chats rolling in. Appreciate it, guys.
Oh man,
yeah, go ahead, Jack.
I'll go ahead and read the uncensored version. Jeffrey's the censor, the one for me. I'm the uncensored for the parents that are keeping the kids away from the room. And Kate, the Diesel Pre for the $5 super chat says, Jeffrey, Alabama is going to get destroyed by Georgia, and Ohio State is beating the living hell out of Texas.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that Alabama, not as confident as I would be in that second one. I think Alabama, it's gonna be a good game. Alabama Georgia is gonna be a good game, but yeah, that's not on our list though, because again, conference game. But I get your point, Kate. You think Bama's gonna get destroyed? You got Georgia gonna feast on some Bama meat. It's just not gonna happen like that, man. We lose, it's a close call. We're not gonna get our what's kicked. It's not happening. Okay. So appreciate the super chat, Cade. And we also got a $5 super chat from our good friend Troy V saying, looks like you're doing a live next week. Yes, I definitely will. I hit the requirement. I so much appreciate you guys so much for the super chats. Like as promised, we meet the goal. I will go live next week, probably with these two. But again, in the future, I will try to go live anyway if I meet the goals. Okay. Appreciate you guys so much. And also I have to read this one. Sorry, Austin, but Dog DC saying guy on the bottom is huffing keyboard. I mean, again, these are his words, not mine. I apologize.
Okay. So
go ahead and explain, Austin, why you have this game on the top 10.
So here's the thing. This was my lock. I wanted this game on here because the reason why it's the most impactful is because this is the Bill Belichick debut game. And when you talk about coaching debuts, it gets no bigger than a Hall of Fame coach and Bill Belichick leading a team in North Carolina who some people may think could win the ACC with how bad the conference has been here recently, including one up there top. I won't name any names, but they're playing. And here's the thing, too. And I know people are going to roast me for that, which is fine. I accept responsibility for that. But when you talk impactful, when you talk money, when you talk big moments, this game screams it. Because here's the thing. As much as you all are roasting me right now, your eyes are going to be on this game.
That's the thing. I mean, you are getting roasted right now, Austin. I knew there was going to be some backlash, but my Lord, it is ugly. Like, it's as much of a bloodbath as Cade. And we got another super chat from Cade saying somebody is going to get barbecued, and it's going to be a bloodbath courtesy of OSU. So we got a kind of a pseudo rhyme going on there, but we appreciate the super chat, Caden. And we know that Ohio State's going to bloodbath their non-conference opponents outside of Texas, like their other ones. But you know what I'm saying? But, like, not everybody's going to get bloodbath by Ohio State. Nebraska did last year. Michigan did. So, you know what? It's not all going to be bloodbaths, but we appreciate the super chat anyway. So, go ahead, Austin.
So let me continue explaining. Like Scotty B said, Deion Sanders, in his opening first game against this TCU team, Colorado won. Who's to say North Carolina can't do the same? And yes, I understand this is not the first game Bill Belichick has ever coached. I'm not saying that, but this is his first college game he's ever coached. So all the college experts, the whole world's going to want to see, can Bill Belichick handle 18, 19-year-old kids who think they should get this dinero? And here's the thing, too. Like I said, I know everyone in the chat is telling me that this is wrong. How dare I? But when you really think about it, you all are going to be watching this just as much as anybody. Jackson and Jeffrey, they can rag on me all they want, but their eyes are going to be glued to this game as well.
Well, it
This
is.
was one of those games that you kind of had to go more off of like brand factor with Bill Belichick, like eyeballs, because it's like Colorado in their first game with Dion. Like, it wasn't an impactful game, but it had eyeballs on it. If you remember, Colorado State had 10 million people watching that game, so it doesn't have to be the biggest game. It's about eyeballs. This game is going to have eyeballs on it, at least for the first half anyway. If the game's good, watch it all the way through. But yeah, I mean, in the national landscape, I don't think this is a top 10 game, in my opinion. But if you're going off eyeballs and brand, like with Belichick, it is a big deal.
And here,
the thing is with Belichick, like if he loses this game and like North Carolina like sucks, then people will stop talking about it. But at least at first, it's going to be a big talking point.
And here's the thing too, and I know people are going to say this, and I promise you, we're going to get to Jeffries here in a minute, and Jackson's. You think mine's bad. Theirs is not exactly a great pick either.
Mine is not that bad. Is not that bad. And this guy down here kind of wanted it too, Jackson. He wanted it a little bit too. So I'm not but
you are homers, number one. I mean, I love you for it, but you're homers. I mean,
you had Louisville JMU in your honorable mentions, bro. So we're a little homer here.
Yes, I know, but I didn't put him in the top 10, Jeffrey, like you did. Anywho, we're getting off base here. But to this game, it could have meaning impactfully in the national landscape because TCU could be a Big 12 contender. Like, I've heard rumblings TCU could be a contender to win the Big 12. I've heard rumblings that North Carolina could win the ACC. I've heard different things about these teams. Very optimistic about both teams. And listen, this is going to have the eyeballs on it, and the whole world's going to be watching, and it's number 10. And you got to think, look at the slate of non-conference games. It's not exactly like we're picking this over Alabama, Ohio State.
It's not the best non-conference field of games we've had in the world. So to have this at number 10 is not the most crazy convoluted thing in the history of the world. Basically what Austin's saying. It's not that ridiculous. It's only at 10. So we got 9 games that are ahead of it and better than it by far, even the next. So you know what? It's not that bad. Our honorable mentions weren't that great. I mean, again, Notre Dame and Texas A&M should have been on the list. But again, we'll explain why later on, why it isn't there. I do have to read the super chat, though, from Katie the Diesel Freak, $2. Appreciate it, Katie. Says, Austin, your Cardinals are dog crap. I don't agree with that. I think Louisville's a quality football team, not a playoff-esque team, but you never know this year, depending on how things go. But they're a solid 8-4 type of team right now with 7-3. They're pretty good.
And here's the thing, too. I mean, I've kind of explained my side of it. Jeffrey's kind of. But what about you, Jackson? I mean, what do you think? Do you think this is far-fetched? Are you with everyone else? Like, what do you think? We haven't heard your thoughts.
Well, I watched a little bit of a TCU preview with Melissa Treebwasser when she was on with Mark Rogers on Friday afternoon. And she mentioned that if TCU is not competing for a Big 12 title or in the Big 12 title, it's going to be a really bad day for Sonny Dites. Like the rest of this season, you could see Sonny Dites on hot seat list for 2026. And this game
you can make that argument for several Big 12 teams, though. Because, I mean, you got Josh Hoover at TCU. You got that Sawyer Robertson at Baylor that people are hyping up. You got the Rocco Beck guy at Iowa State. A lot of people are high on Iowa State. I mean, several of the Kansas State could be there with Avery Johnson. Texas Tech's getting better. You know, Colorado. I mean, Colorado's not going to do
Yeah,
it.
but
You know what I'm
TCU's
saying? There's
had
a
one.
lot of programs in the Big 12 that can compete for the championship. Arizona State as well, because the conference isn't that good. So that's why.
But TCU did one thing that none of these Big 12 teams did. They went to a natty in 2022, but that was with all those Gary Patterson players. Now that you see Sonny Dykes with all his guys, 2025 is the year to see whether TCU has still got it, because the 2022 shine has worn off. It's all gone. Now we want to see what Sonny Dykes can do with his boys, and it all starts on Labor Day.
Well, we lost our shine as well, Jackson, according to Caden, because we got a super chat for $2. Appreciate it, Caden. He says,
We appreciate it.
Stomach sick, Jeffrey and Jackson. Well, I mean, you're still watching, so, it can't be that bad.
We'll see you on Thursday, good buddy.
We appreciate it, Caden.
And see, here's the thing, too. Before we get to number 9.
I want to get to mine. I'm excited.
So before we get to that, I want to say this. Like, I know, like I said, people are roasting me. And Jeffrey, you did warn me, which is fine. I'll take it because, we're all big boys here. We're all grown men. Here's the thing. Logistically, here's the thing. If you think about it, what if North Carolina wins? North Carolina could make a run in the ACC. It's not that difficult. North Carolina did not get that bad of a schedule. This could be a catapulting game for Bill Belichick too. Or like Jackson said, what he's heard about TCU. So on paper, yes, it may look, but when you actually think about it, it's not that bad. It's actually not that bad. In most years, is this a top 10 game? Probably not. But due to the sloppy slate, as Jackson likes to say, you kind of are at slim pickings. But I'll defend my pick until death on this one. Now, number 9. Number 9, unless Jackson got anything, anybody else have anything to say before?
I'm good. I've made my points.
Let's get it. Number 9.
Jackson, don't you be pushy. I'll fire you again. Okay,
Where's
number
my Krabby
9.
Patty hat?
Number 9, Week 1, Alabama, Florida State, 3:30 p.m. on ABC. Kalen DeBoer, gotta have it win. And here's the thing. Hold on. This is Jeffrey's lock. This is the one Jeffrey was fighting for. And this is the one me and him kind of had a dog and cat fight over. But before I explain my side of it, Jeffrey, since you were so graceful with me, you have the floor.
All right. So the reason why I have this game at number 9, we agreed to it. We discussed it. We almost left it off the list. But, okay, when you're going off of big matchup, you're talking about week 1. Like, if this was a later in the year game, it probably wasn't big of a deal, because we would know how these teams would be by then, and you would have a lot more quality games going on around the same time. This is a week 1 game. Florida State, we don't know how good it's going to be. We don't know if they're still going to stink, or we don't know if they're improved, which they could be. It's in Doak. It's not at Alabama. So Alabama's going on the road, which they don't typically do in the non-conference. And it's Alabama and Florida State. 2 massive brands. Like, you think about, like, all of our honorable mention games, right? You talk about your Syracuse, Tennessees. You talk about Iowa State, Georgia Tech, Colorado, Notre Dame, Boise, Baylor, Auburn. None of those games are between 2 brands. The only one that's even close is A&M Notre Dame, which, again, we all kind of agreed that game probably should be in the top 10. But it's not. And Jason O, no, not all of them are in week 1. All the games are in week 1. But A&M Notre Dame is a game between 2 brands, kind of. Like, Notre Dame's a brand. A&M, I mean, they're an SEC school with tons of money, but are they a brand that kind of suck? But,
their national title drought's older than Bud's Bunny.
Yeah, so, all right. These 2 schools are brands. They are brands. Emma's a bona fide blue blood, one of the best in college football. Florida State is really good. They've had their moments. This is why this game should be in the top 10. Go ahead, Austin, because I know you're dying down there.
Well, I was trying not to interrupt you, but
You're
Jeffrey,
good.
the chat's giving it to you too. Like,
Not like they were you. Not like they were you, though. No. I mean, you were getting roasted. I'm not getting roasted. There was one person Bama's going to crush Florida State, but I honestly don't even care about that factor. I don't care if Alabama crushes Florida State. This is a week 1 game, and it's going to have tons of hype. If you already seen Twitter, people are this game. And it doesn't matter that Florida State could be 3-9. This is not a week game. This is a week 1 game. If people talk about this game, I wouldn't have it on the list, but Bama is one of the best schools in college football, and historically, and Florida State is really doing well. And it's going to be the game's getting hyped to death. Whether the game's good or not, we don't know. But I just think the game has to be in the top 10.
And if you hear Shamadonna calling this game, you're not going to hear him raise his voice out of excitement like he did with the 2024 ACC title game, or when Cade Klubnik scored that game-winning touchdown against Pitt last season. So
yeah, I mean, my thing is, like, I understand that, Austin, like, your game, it makes sense when you explain your reasonings. Like, Belichick, TCU could be in the Big 12, US. You could do that with any game. You can say, like, Baylor could be good, Auburn could be good. The thing is with this, I just don't feel there's a lot of arguments here. I mean, you don't even see the chat really arguing it. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone realizes this is a big game. Whether it's good or not, that will be determined. But as for an impactful, big deal game,
here's the thing, and here's why I argued with it. This game only means something to one of these teams, in my opinion, and that's Alabama, because Florida State has no expectations right now. A lot of their fan base is like, we can't do no worse, right? Let's just try to get to 7-5, 8-4. Let's just try. And that's where they've gone. But Alabama, they are a national championship contender program. So this game means everything to them. This is, and you don't like to say this in week 1, but this is almost a do or die moment for Bama. Because if they lose to Florida State week 1, oh my goodness, the whole entire college football world is going to lose their mind. And Jackson and Jeffrey know that for a fact. And that's why
I think it's an impactful game, though, because it matters for Alabama. It matters for Alabama because if they lose, it makes DeBoer look terrible. And like you said, people are going to be talking about it. Like Belichick loses his first game at UNC, it's going to be like, all right, Belichick's washed. He sucks. He's great at the Patriots with Brady, but ever since then he sucks. He's still going to suck. With this game, if Alabama loses, it's going to be like, oh my gosh, like they already had the Oklahoma Vanderbilt last year, and it's happening again. Or it's bad news bears. Florida State, if they lose this game and it's close, then Mike Norvell, it's like, hey, he did a good job, right? Like he didn't win, but he did a good job. If they get blown out, then Mike Norvell's seat's like toast. And then if Florida State wins, and it's like, oh man, Florida State's turning it around. They're gonna have a good year. This game, whatever happens, is gonna have a lot of talking points. And
but here's the thing.
This is a top 10 impactful game because whatever happens, people are gonna be talking about it.
And here's the thing. And before Jackson goes, Alabama, this is all on them. They're carrying this. Because, Jeffrey, you just mentioned it. What's the whole world talking about? Is Kalen DeBoer going to win this game? Can he prove he's got what it takes? No one's talking about FSU. Everyone's just like, just don't get blown out. Like that's what they're talking about, is it not? That's why it's so frustrating when you made this your lock. I was like, really? This?
Well, I wasn't going to, but the reason I did is because since you were arguing for it so much, like you are right now, which again, absolutely fine. It's what debates are for. It kind of seemed like we were going to leave it off the list because actually I thought there was really no debate with this game. I thought it was a top 10 game. I wouldn't have made it my lock at all. I would have made another game my lock. I would have done A&M Notre Dame or something just to get it in the top 10. But since we went the route we did, you put TCU and C. I was just like, well, I'm going to put Alabama, Florida State because I'm not leaving the game off the top 10. I didn't think it was that big of a debate. Again, even chat's not really disagreeing. I mean, chat, do you think this is a top 10 game? I mean, honestly, is this a top 10 game in your opinion? Because to me, I think it's a top 10 most impactful game. I think it is a top 10 biggest game. I think the game matters too much. I think it does. I think it's too big of a game. It's not. I mean, like you argued Alabama, Wisconsin for honorable mention. Me and Jackson didn't even have it on there because I don't look at Wisconsin like I look at Florida State. I don't. They're not nowhere near as a brand. They're not as big of a school. It's way bigger. Plus, it's at Doak. It's not at Alabama. This is a road game in week 1. And it's, even if Alabama somehow lost this game, it's probably more due to the fact that it's a week 1 game than that Florida State's not a great game, like a great team. You know what I'm saying? Like Alabama could lose this game because it's week 1 and you're not like ready for it. Like you're not. It's just like you're still trying to figure it out. Week 1's weird.
Oh, yeah.
What's going to happen? We've seen teams lose in week 1 and then win out the rest of the way.
Like LSU lost to USC, and a lot of people thought, oh, USC is going to have this great season now. They're in the playoffs, but then the rest of the season, USC didn't do so hot in. So that's the thing. That's an example right there.
I mean, to me, because you got Scotty saying it's no higher than 9, but could be as low as 16. What do you put ahead of it? I mean, do you really believe that Notre Dame Boise is a more impactful game than this game? No, I don't feel that it is. I don't. I look at Notre Dame. See, that's why one of our criteria was like headline game. Notre Dame Boise State is not a headline game. Like
no,
it's right here. Georgia Tech Colorado is not a headline game like this is. Syracuse Tennessee's not. None of these games are. This is a headline game. Whether it's a good game or not, because see, everyone's determining this game based on if it's going to be good or not. You don't know that, folks. You don't know if this game's going to be good. You don't know if any of the games on our list are going to be good. This game is a big game because it's week 1. We don't know. There's a lot of question marks, and these are blue blood programs, especially Bama, Florida State. Whether or not they're really good historically, this is a big game to me. I don't see it as debatable.
Here's the thing, though. You want to talk about headline? TCU North Carolina could be argued as the headline game. Like, let me ask the chat something.
This is a bigger game, but
okay, let me ask the chat then. What's bigger, Alabama or Bill Belichick's coaching debut?
Bama. I mean, Bama has won like 15 titles or whatever. I mean, Belichick's half that with Brady, but like ever since Brady, Belichick's done nothing. I mean, Belichick's lost a lot of shine. I mean, I would argue so this UNC stand is important for him just to get his legacy back. You know what I'm saying? Like people are tracking the heck out of Belichick, man. Like he has lost all of his support because everybody's like, oh, it was Brady, and you know why? Because Brady went down to the Bucs and won a title, won a Super Bowl, whatever.
Right.
And that right there just single-handedly destroyed.
But Jeffrey, you're making my argument. You're making my argument better because that makes that game important. Because
Bama's bigger though. Bama is a more important game than Bill Belichick. He's a man. Bama is a program. Bama has a program historically. UNC is a basketball school.
Here's the
thing. It's
thing.
not as big of a game.
Here's the thing with Bill Belichick, though. Bill Belichick, like Deion Sanders, I'm not going to put the glasses or anything on, but you put those two coaches who are legendary, all-timers, GOATs, whatever you want to say, and you put them on programs, people are going to watch. As much as people are ridiculing me, they're going to watch this game. And if Belichick loses, guess what? It's going to be, oh, Belichick has lost his way. What has happened? But if he wins, people are going to be like, North Carolina can win the ACC. North Carolina can do this. So I think you can make a good heavy case. But anywho,
I can guarantee that there will be more people watching Alabama, Florida State than UNC TCU. I can guarantee that.
But there is one game we definitely agree that is bigger than Alabama, Florida State, and TCU, North Carolina. On to number 8.
Hold on, Jack. Hold on. I got to finish this debate.
Bama. Kentucky not going to be an impactful game at all. I'm sorry, Troy, but that's not going to be an impactful game. Kentucky is going to suck. I'm sorry to Real if he's here, and he knows it. Kentucky will be bad. They are going to be.
So here's the thing. Last thing I'll say is TCU North Carolina is a solo stage. That's going to have more eyes on it. Guarantee it. I would be willing to bet the farm on that one.
I'm not betting, but I'm just saying, Bama Florida State's just a bigger game. I don't even care about like the singular fact. Oh, it's on a Monday night. I mean, it's a good game. UNC TCU is a good game, but I look at that game as UNC Minnesota a few years ago. It was mid. It was a mid game. Like both teams kind of sucked. It kind of sucked. And you know what? I'm expecting both teams to kind of suck again. And it's going to be kind of fun. It's going to be like a 25-22 type of game. UNC might win on a field goal. TCU might win on a field goal. If TCU is almost winning the Big 12, it's because the Big 12 is trash. If UNC is close to winning the ACC, it's because the ACC is trash. I mean, that's kind of the with these type. We're justifying the Big 12 and the ACC like these games need to be in the top 10 because they could win their conference. Well, they can win their conference because their conference sucks.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like we said, though, Jeffrey, this list could be run by the SEC and Big Ten, but then it would be no fun. That's the thing.
Well, I'll put Florida State in their ACC, so.
They won't be for long.
For now, they are. For now. And I mean, and when that happens, then we're not going to have any Big 12 and ACC left because if Florida State leaves and Miami and Clemson, then the ACC is just garbage at that point. Just absolute trash. So, I mean, I'm sorry, but the reason why we don't have the Big 12 and the ACC that much is because their conferences are dead.
But anywho, on to number 8. And Week 2, Michigan at Oklahoma.
Now, is there any debates, chat, that this should not be in the top 10? Because no one really shouldn't have been. A lot of people said the other game, but should this game be in the top 10?
Jeffrey, you interrupted my intro. You're fired. Anywho, Week 2, Michigan and Oklahoma, 7:30 p.m. on ABC. The battle of premier programs, Michigan, Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma, you want to talk about, the reason why we debated this more than anything was because of Oklahoma. Because some people were high on them and some weren't.
I won't Florida State.
But Jeffrey was the one who talked us all off the ledge because he was like, even if Oklahoma sucks, it's still blue blood, still a premier program.
I don't like Bama, Florida State. I mean, that's the reason both these games are here. Now, I see Scotty saying there's no debate on this. Honestly, I fail to understand that, though, because if Bama's a top 10 team and Florida State is like an average 6-6 type of team, what are we looking at here? Oklahoma could go 6-6 again because they're probably not going to be that good. And then you've got Michigan. They went like how many games they won last year? 7, 8, whatever. And it's like this year, they can maybe win 9. Bama, me and Jackson think they'll win 10. I don't really see a big difference between these two. Obviously, I put this one ahead of Bama, Florida State as well, like Jackson and Austin did, which is why it's here. But to me, I don't see a lot of differences between these two teams, these two games. I just don't. I think these two games are both here because they're two non-conference games against blue blood programs, basically. That's what I see these games as. Michigan and Oklahoma are blue blood programs, and it's at the lesser team. Like if this game was at Michigan and the Alabama game, Florida State was at Bama, I feel like that these two games would be worse. The fact that the worst team, you always want these type of games to be played at the worst team's house because then that gives them a chance.
And Brent Venables will have to make a case to his new boss, and this game is a perfect way to make that case as to whether if Brent Venables is the right man for the job for the long term. Because if Oklahoma does not win this one, then the hot seat just only gets hotter for Venables because the new boss is not going to be a backer of Brent Venables. He's going to want his own guy to be the Nets head coach. And another storyline is this is the last game before the 2-game suspension for Sharon Moore at Michigan. Now, what's going to happen? And, Sharon Moore's going against his alma mater, Oklahoma. And we really don't know what to make of Michigan, Oklahoma going into 2025. They could have a really good year or they could have another bad year. But we'll definitely wait and see. But we hope Michigan's offense is better in 2025. And Oklahoma, we know they're fixing their offense, especially with who they got at OC and who they've got QB with John Mater.
Yeah, all great points, Jackson. I mean, Venables is on the hot seat. So is Norvell, though. Both have big buyouts. Like I said, and not to keep harping on that game, but I feel like both games are very important for the team that's worse. Oklahoma needs this game more than Michigan does because their coach needs it. Venables, they haven't been good in years now. Like ever since Oklahoma lost Lincoln Riley, they haven't been a elite program anymore. And I know people are gonna say, well, they weren't elite under Lincoln Riley. Well, they were making the playoffs and they were constantly going 11-1. Now they're in the SEC. They have Venables. They're a 6-6 type of program, which obviously in the ACC would probably be 10-2. But when you're in the SEC, you've got to be really good to win. Oklahoma's not winning a lot of games, so they've out of relevancy per se. As Michigan have the title team, and then last year they weren't as good. So it's like they're kind of wanting a better year. So it's two programs that, again, historically are elite, but they're trying to find their way. Oklahoma needs this game more because Venables and to turn their program around.
Mhm.
I think this game's going to be close because I don't think either team's going to be that great. I think Michigan's going to be all right. I think Oklahoma's going to be mid, but I think both teams are going to be. I think it's going to be two teams playing a close game. Whether that game is higher scoring or lower scoring, we'll see. Troy's saying it'll be low scoring. I just think this game is not going to be a lot of separation because teams do have a good defense. It's whether the offenses show up. Does Bryce Underwood show up? I always called him Mateer, but Jackson said Mater. Like
Yeah, you call
is
me
it Mater?
Yeah, I think so. I might have gotten it wrong.
Well, I'll just call him Toe Mater from now on. So Toe Mater for Oklahoma.
Everybody likes Mater.
So
Mater.
I mean, I'm just saying that like this game's probably going to be close. I don't think either team like in the national picture, but it's going to be close.
And the thing too with this is like you said, Jeffrey, it's all about the Bryce Underwood of the world and versus Brent Venables kind of the deal here. What makes this game important is Michigan and their new offense under Bryce Underwood. Is Bryce Underwood as good as Michigan is saying he is? Brent Venables, like a couple people mentioned, he needs this for his job. This could be a career-defining win as we know it kind of deal. And listen, we all came to an agreement. We all were kind of like, this game's a toss-up just for the fact of their two unknowns. Like Oklahoma could be a 6-6 team, or Oklahoma could be a 9-3 team for all we know. They did lose a lot on defense. Danny Strutman, he's gone. So Oklahoma definitely, but they added John Mayer, as both guys have mentioned. It's one of them games. Yeah, and as Scotty B says, Bryce Underwood has to go on the road as a freshman in his first road start. That's another key point to why this game could mean a whole lot of importance, because if he wins a true road environment game, this could set his season up on a whole nother level kind of deal. So, yeah, even though on the surface this looks like one of them battle of mid, as Jackson and Jeffrey love to call it could mean a whole heck of a lot by the end of it. And Jason O says Oklahoma better win more than 6 games this year. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, if they don't, then Venables is in hot water. I really have a hard time
agree
the 6-6 year. But again, this is what you knew was going to happen when Oklahoma went to the SEC. You're not playing anymore. You're not playing TCU anymore. You're not playing Iowa State anymore. You're playing Georgia, Bama, LSU. Texas still. Like you knew that was going to happen, Oklahoma. So more money. It's like, yeah, but now you're not winning like you were. Because, I mean, the thing is, how much worse is Oklahoma right now than they were with Lincoln Riley? I mean, legitimately. Obviously, their offense is just completely tanked. We know that, obviously. But you got to remember, even with Dylan Gabriel, it was like, all right, they were capable on offense, right? They were capable. The problem with Oklahoma is just better competition. It's just better competition. And Oklahoma's roster was never that great. Because if people recall, I can't stress this enough. This is something with Oklahoma that I wish more people would talk about that they're not, because again, people's memories are short. I'm the same way sometimes. A lot of times my memory, but I do tend to remember certain things. And this is one thing what did Oklahoma do every single time that Lincoln Riley made the playoffs? And I obviously understand that they were playing the best of the best when they did, but Oklahoma typically got mopped off the field. They got murdered. They got destroyed. Okay, you
Mollywop.
Oklahoma versus Burrow, bloodbath. That's a bloodbath. That is a bloodbath. So now Oklahoma, the SEC, and it's just continuing to happen. It's the same thing. It's not like they've gotten really worse. They just changed conference. And see, Oklahoma, they don't have the money Texas does. They don't, which is why Lincoln Riley is in LA right now. Because he felt in his brain, even though USC is not winning jack right now, but maybe they will eventually. But the reason why he left is because it's like, all right, well, I don't see Oklahoma right now competing in elite space in any category, financially, support anything, right? Like Oklahoma historically is one of the best programs in college football, but step below Bama and Georgia and Ohio State and LSU and Clemson and Michigan and USC when it comes to support in this new NIL era. Oklahoma's like way down here, man. And that's why Venables, even though he is, in my opinion, probably overall, yes, a worse coach than Lincoln Riley. I really don't know how to compare that, though. I know he's good at defense. But the thing is that Brent Venables don't think's a bad coach. I just think that Oklahoma, as a program, they're just not competing at this space. And you go to the best college football, which now they're really competitive with the Big Ten. It's
oh yeah. Well, Brent Venables, you still
kind of say the best conference in college football. Oh, yeah. Oklahoma's now winning at the level that they would have won by all along if they were in the SEC years ago. 6-6, 7-5, 8. Not an elite program when it comes to financial support, and that does not get you to championships in 2025.
This discussion made Jeffrey's face freeze for a little bit. Oh no.
You could hear me though, right?
Yep.
Okay, well that's all.
Brent Venables made him face freeze.
I don't care. But I mean, am I wrong, Jackson? I mean, or also am I wrong on that? That?
No. But I will say at least Brent Venables will offer to keep all rivalries going on. Unlike this Nets coach in this Nets game we're going to discuss. Don't worry. I'm not going to spend all my time trashing Lincoln Riley because no worries. I'm not going to do that. And besides, I can't be saying some of the words I want to say on air. That's Jackson, for off-air stuff.
Jackson, you just spoiled it. See, I told you people, he's a movie spoiler. This is why me and Jeffrey don't hang out and watch movies with him. But anywho, number 7 on this list. Number 7, Week 8, USC at Notre Dame, 7:30 p.m. on NBC and Peacock. Yeah. And could this be the final chapter? And
this was Jackson's pick.
Yes.
Yes, this was his lock. This is the one he argued.
I really wanted it to be.
He argued, he debated it. He was an evil politician. He told Jeffrey and me if we didn't agree with him, he was going to steal our puppy and eat it for dinner.
I'll lobby to few. I'll lobby to a few organizations for this one.
I mean, I wanted A&M Notre Dame, but I mean, the thing is that I'll go ahead and say it because obviously people probably are going to assume the other games on here, but we only wanted to put the same team on here twice, so that's why Notre Dame A&M or Notre Dame Boise or any of the other Notre Dame games on the list because. We didn't want to put Notre Dame more than twice. We didn't want to put any team more than twice. So we kept it 2 teams, on the list, like whatever, you want to say, right? So it's like, that's why Notre Dame USC, we let it be on here because Jackson picked it. Because honestly, Notre Dame USC and Notre Dame A&M, but then that would be,
Jeffrey?
We wanted variety. So that's why.
Well, the fact of the matter is, like, Notre Dame USC, I think, can have a humongous impact in the world of college football for 2025. And it can have an impact on Lincoln Riley's reputation and Jen Cohen's reputation. Because if Notre Dame is beating USC this year, then it's going to be, Lincoln Riley's bailing out. This is like the SEC all over again when he was asked if he was leaving for LSU or Florida. It's like that all over again. But then he bails the USC, and that's what you're going to see. And the fact of the matter is, you could see this be an impact game for whether who has a higher seeding for the playoffs or who's getting in. because it all depends on what the records look like for USC. Because USC could be a 2-loss team, could be a 1-loss team, could be unbeaten. We don't know. We don't know what USC is looking like. They're one of those teams that you kind of have a hard time predicting on where they're going to go for 2025. Because like 2022, we all knew they'd probably surprise everybody. 2023, we thought they would go to the playoffs. They didn't. 2024, we thought this time for sure. No. Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame, they got to the Natty last year. Score was closer than it looked. I mean, especially the first quarter, but it is what it is. Notre Dame used that Northern Illinois game as motivation for what could be next. Marcus Freeman, he's got a pretty good record against USC thus far with Notre Dame. But we know the 2025 edition in South Bend is going to be a good one. Now we believe 2026 will be played. It just may not be played on rivalry week. And if USC decides we're not playing this game anymore and it works out for them, that's smart move on Jen Cohen and Lincoln Riley's part. But they're still just god awful in conference play, then you're going to see them in trouble.
So, and here's the important thing about this game is this could be it. This could be like Bedlam. This could be the end. So this game, as far as the media is concerned, this could be one of those games where it could be a sentimental who wants to have the final say, kind of like Bedlam was. Because as we know, 2026 is on for sure and beyond. So this game could mean everything to say we won the last game we ever played, possibly. Because look at what Oklahoma State now has over Oklahoma's head. Hey, we won the last ever Bedlam. Imagine if USC wins this game. Even if they go 5-7 and miss a bowl game, Lincoln Riley could say, hey, guess what? I went to South Bend. I beat Notre Dame in our last ever possible game we ever play against Notre Dame in history. Especially, it could be impactful too, like Jackson said. Or this could mean everything for Marcus Freeman if Notre Dame's having a down year. So, on the surface, it's very interesting. But, Jeffrey, what do you think?
My thoughts on this game is that I feel like when you're talking about like rivalries in college football and how they're kind of dying a little bit because of all this realignment and NIL money, which kind of ruins a lot of junk. This game is special. It is special for a lot of reasons. It's been such a big deal for college football for so long. I mean, think about it. Like a team in Indiana and a team in LA being rivals. That's just weird in and of itself. But it's college football, man. You know what I'm saying? You take this stuff away and you lose so much. You could say build new rivalries like, oh, Nebraska and Iowa now. They're play each other in the Big Ten and they're rivals. I don't care. I don't freaking care. Okay. It's not Iowa State. You don't have to be in the same conference to be a rivalry game. You don't. Kentucky, Indiana used to be a big deal. They got rid of that. So, but I'm just saying, like, this game matters to a lot of people, not even just the fans of these two teams. It is a big deal in the grand scheme of college football. And I absolutely agree why Jackson lobbied for this game. And out of all the games that we put on the list that we lobbied for, UNC, TCU, Bama, Florida State, USC, Notre Dame, this is definitely the game that deserves to be on here the most out of the three. So, I mean, honestly, Jackson shouldn't have had to make it a lock. It's just we had the rule with not putting Notre Dame more than twice, and which is fair to get more teams on here. But this game should be here. I mean, it's a big game, and it should never go away, and I hope it never goes away. Definitely hope that does not occur. If it does, it's sad. But again, can you blame USC for wanting, like if it goes away? Because it's like, hey, we're in the Big Ten now. We're playing tough opponents in the Big Ten. We don't need this game. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. I mean, if you got Michigan playing cupcakes, if you've got Georgia playing cupcake non-conference outside of Georgia Tech, right? Which that could be in jeopardy. You never know. But I'm just saying you got all Alabama has many years played all cupcake non-conference games. And then you got USC playing like a Notre Dame. It's like, why are we doing that? Especially when we already have 9 conference games. It really doesn't make sense because you want to make the playoffs. Your schedule to be easier so you can make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Unless they value tough schedules,
Mhm.
that's why these type games are going away. I hope it doesn't go away, but the rules are going to have to change for this stuff to be fixed. It just is. Things are trending so badly in the wrong direction for that. But this game should be in the top 10 for the rivalry alone, nothing else.
Agreed. And what USC should have planned for was something like this, where it's like, you know, if you have to travel to Purdue or Indiana, make sure you've got it on the week before you play Notre Dame or the week after you play Notre Dame, or make sure you have a bye week before you play Notre Dame. That's what you need to do if you're USC. You shouldn't be like, oh, it's all Notre Dame's fault. How's it Notre Dame's fault? But again, I digress. That is another time for another day. And we'll definitely get to our next game in just a little bit that I'm confident in staying on for the rest of our lives.
So here's the thing about this is kind of sparked the debate. I think what a lot of it is everyone blames Alabama. I think Alabama kind of ruined this game if you think about it. And here's why. Because Bama went out and scheduled Wisconsin. They went out and scheduled these tougher non-con and they didn't get in. So people are now like, oh, they look at that and hold on, Jeffrey. Let me explain. I'm not let me get to my point here. And I think a lot of people look at that and say, why should we schedule non-con games? Let's just play the Austin Peays and Mercers of the world. And USC is like, you know what? These people are making sense. Notre Dame, we don't need you anymore because we play in a tough conference. Because we're not in the ACC or Big 12. Guess what? We're in the Big 10, so we don't need you anymore, Notre Dame. You need us. And I think that's where Bama kind of broke that mold because they got left down. So people are now starting to recognize there's no point in scheduling these games unless you're a brand team. Go ahead, Jeffrey. Go ahead.
I mean, that's a fair point, but I don't agree, though, because the thing is, I feel like the bigger issue is not Alabama, it's the 12-team playoff. The 12-team playoff making where everyone wants to make the 12-team playoff. Okay, it has nothing to do with scheduling tough non-conference games. In a 4-team a playoff, you literally could lose one game and miss the playoffs. Georgia playoffs last year, the year before, when they played Florida State in the bowl game with one loss. They won everything, and they lost to Bama in the conference championship game and missed the playoffs because of when they lost, not the fact that they lost the game. Nothing to do with that. The 12-team playoff, they're getting rid of non-conference games. It's nothing to do with Alabama because I got so sick and tired of that stupid argument last year. Oh, Alabama missed the playoffs and they played tough non-conference games. For one, they did not play tough non-conference games. Wisconsin's trash. They suck. Okay, so that's number one. And number two, guess what? We lost 3 games last year, and they were all in conference. We lost all of our games in conference. So who cares? Okay?
But that's the thing.
I don't want to hear that argument. I'm not saying you, Austin, but I don't want to hear that argument anymore. That argument is stupid. That argument is dumb. It means nothing. It has nothing to do with anything.
And I'm not trying to go down a rabbit hole, but they are blaming it off on you guys because the committee.
It's not us. It's not us. It's the 12-team playoff. It's not us.
No, but here's the thing. Here's the thing.
I'm just frustrated because that argument is dumb. It is so dumb. And I know why Austin is bringing it up because it's a fair argument to make based off of arguments that people make. But it's a stupid argument. Oh, Bama played tough non-conference games and didn't get in the playoffs, so now we need to get – no, it's not because of Bama scheduling tough non-conference. We didn't even schedule tough non-conference. It wasn't even hard. It's because of the fact they expanded the playoff to 12, and now they're like, hey, we want to make the playoffs, get it easy as possible to make the playoffs since it's easier now to make the playoffs. It's 4 teams, so it's like, oh, we can schedule a tough non-conference game, but even if we lose in the conference, it's like, hey, we'll have a better shot of making the playoffs if we lose early to a non-conference opponent than if we did losing late in the season like Georgia did to make the conference championship game. So that is the thing. Like Moose is agreeing with me because I'm correct here. I don't like ever boasting that I'm right. I don't like that because I'm wrong 1,000% of the thing. This argument. I am right. This is a stupid argument. It has nothing to do with
Here's the thing. But when you have Here's the thing. I'm in agreement with you guys. The reason why you all got left out of the playoffs is because you played bad against Oklahoma and you
Yeah, and the
lost to
thing is,
Vanderbilt.
if we had a played easy non-conference opponents, we still probably lose those games. People could be like, "Oh, well, Bama was tired because we went to the jump around and oh my gosh, Wisconsin was so tough. We just barely won. We beat the crap out of them. They stink." Okay, so it's like we lost three conference games not because we played a tougher non-conference schedule. It's because Saban's guy. All right, it's like please,
And
we
that's
lost
the thing too.
crappy conference teams.
And that's the thing too that upsets me
In
is
Tennessee.
because they look at that and say, why should we schedule these? Teams like USC are looking like, why do we need Notre Dame? Why do we need to play this rivalry? What's the significance anymore? Because we play in the Big Ten, we play Ohio State, Washington. They and that's the thing too.
If Georgia lost to Georgia Tech, they would have missed playoffs. Yes, but the thing is guess what? Then you would have people say, "Oh, with Georgia, we need to get rid of that game because we missed the play." How about you beat the crap out of them like you used to? Maybe
that's
it's
the problem.
All that good, Georgia. Maybe that's the problem. And the thing, here's my thing. They almost lost to a crappy Kentucky team. What are they going to do? Oh, we don't need to play Kentucky now because we're not going to make the playoffs. You know what? Why don't you just schedule 12 FCS opponents and make the daggone playoff? This is stupid, man. You go out there, your freaking games. If you don't win, you don't make the playoffs. You don't need to be expanding it so Iowa can make it and Virginia Tech and garbage. Please. Absolutely, please. That's stupid, man.
And here's the thing.
Okay, Joe.
I'm fine. I'm not even close though. I'm fine. I'm being very strong in my argument here because I feel something that needs to just be said to the world. It's something that everybody needs to have in their brain and be like, all right, this is the way it is. I don't drink Red Bulls, Timothy. I don't. I'm fine. I've been up for 15 hours, but I'm fine. All I'm trying to say is that we need to get all this playoff crap and the tough non-conference games and all that out of people's minds and just play the freaking games that you have. Keep these type of games and shut up. That's what needs to happen. Because if not, you're going to ruin football forever and you're going to get all these big programs just playing little scummy little games because, we want to make the playoffs automatically. I'm done. I'm just go ahead. Go ahead.
I was calling a timeout. That's what that was for. Timeout. I will say this. I am just playing devil's advocate for what these big media personalities are displaying. I'm not saying I agree with any of them. I'm like you all. You should not hinge your rivalry on, guess what? Alabama got left out, so now we need to get rid of you, Notre Dame. I disagree with that. I'm with you all. I just threw that out there as devil's advocate because it has to be said. Because it's true. It's out there. It happens. You move on. But I thought it was important to bring that up as maybe one of the key reasons why this might be going away. Kind of like what Bedlam was. And JT Thomas says never be a devil. Oh, I love Jesus. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to be an advocate for the media because they're the ones that is making this point. They're the one that's driving it in our heads. It's all Notre Dame's fault. It's all Notre Dame's fault. Anywho, this whole conversation just went off the rail.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of like, we got to get to some rivalries that are still going on annually. Well, at least the next two games, anyhow.
We got all night. We're good. We could be up till 6 a.m. But anywho.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
He said all of college football is an environmentally imposed low. Week schedules are being incentivized. It's just business. The pendulum will swing back with a vengeance. Pitt told you. I agree. And his Trojan fight says Notre Dame is welcome to join the Big Ten. And see, here's the thing. And I know Jackson's going to yell at me here in a minute. But see, here's the problem. That's what gets Jackson upset because people think Notre Dame need to join a conference. When it's like, why do we need to join a conference when we get to keep all of our money? We get television deals. Like, what's the point of Notre Dame joining the conference? That's what Jackson would say. Now, do I agree with him? Would I love to see Louisville Notre Dame on a more annual basis? Sure. Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, or join the Big 12 if you like Notre Dame, if that's your cup of tea. But, anywho, these next 6 games, we all agreed on. There was only one game I think one of us had an argument against. And see, here's the thing. This will all make sense in a minute. But our number 6 game is clean old-fashioned hate. Week 14, Georgia at Georgia Tech, 3:30 on ABC. It's a Black Friday rematch. And this is one of them. I kind of argued against it. But Jeffrey, when he comes back on screen, he will tell you why he eventually flipped me over, so to speak. Not flipped me over, changed my mind. There we go. Better term. But Jackson, this was a game you wanted. So explain to the people, it wasn't your lock, but explain to people the importance of this.
Because I suspect that Brent Key and Georgia Tech are really for real. And as long as he's your head coach for Georgia Tech, he's going to have them rocking and rolling. Like when he was the interim coach for 2023, he had him rolling. 2024, he had him. I mean, the record didn't look like it, but he had him rolling, especially in the season opener against Florida State. And what we saw on Black Friday last season, they almost upset the Georgia Bulldogs, but they didn't. So this season, you could see a massive upset. While you see Georgia thinking about the SEC title or a little bit, or what's next in the playoffs, you could see Georgia Tech possibly get that upset on Black Friday. And all these people that said that it's not that important of a rivalry. Oh, well, Georgia Tech's irrelevant. Well, I mean, they're right. They're not anywhere near as relevant as they were in the Bobby Dodd era or when they were in the SEC in the 50s and 60s. But still, though, when they got Brent Key coming over, you knew those old days of the Paul Johnson era were coming back, except you weren't seeing triple option offense.
And see, here's the thing, too. The reason why I was a little more hesitant on this game is because of the hype around Georgia Tech. I've seen a lot of people talk up Georgia Tech as an ACC dark horse. And the reason why this game's at number 6 is because Jackson and Jeffrey were kind of like, this was a classic from last year, and I think Georgia Tech can compete. My thing is Georgia Tech for real? And that's what caused me to pause. Because I was like, was last year a fluke? Was that a one-off? And I still have my cautiousness on that. Because what I'm afraid is going to happen is that was a fluke. And Georgia will go back to dominating like they have. And that's what worries me. And a lot of people in the chat are saying they don't believe in Georgia Tech either. Steven Siri says GT isn't real. Jason O says UGA is a good game.
Piss Snipe Husker says GT was an SOB with the option way after it was allegedly passed.
Yes. So here's the thing. To me, this all hinges on Georgia Tech because Georgia could have the SEC championship game locked up like they did last year and could be playing down to them. But this is one of them I strangled the fence with. But Jackson and Jeffrey, especially Jackson, he was more of, we need to have it. We got to have it.
And if Georgia Tech wins in Atlanta this year, it'll be the first time since 1999 that it has happened. Now, the times that Georgia Tech has been winning against Georgia in this century, in 2000, 2008, 2014, 2016, all those wins have been in Athens. Now, if Georgia Tech wins against Georgia this year, it'll be the first time in the 21st century that they have beaten Georgia in Atlanta. The losing streak in Atlanta against Georgia is the same age as SpongeBob.
And
let that sink in, folks.
And Hummus Hero says Haynes King is a haluva of a competitor, though. He
is
Haynes.
Yeah.
Haluva.
It's hell of a.
Hell of a, yeah. Thank you, Helva. We're learning
It's
languages
like
tonight.
cool grip all over again.
Yes, but I agree. Haynes King's not my worry. He's going to bring his best for this game. It's the team itself because Georgia Tech is like Jekyll and Hyde. And if Jeffrey was here right now, Haluva could. But if Jeffrey was here right now, Jeffrey could tell you about Georgia Tech being Jekyll and Hyde in the ACC just as much as I could because they beat North Carolina when North Carolina was still had a shot to go to the ACC title game in Charlotte. And that's Jackson's timer to I don't know, whatever the timer was for. But Georgia State owns ATL. Oh Lord. Anywho, nah, I feel cheesy or meaty dips. Oh Lord. Pinstripe Husker says I hug Jeffrey. Lord have mercy. Anywho. Like Georgia Tech's one of the Jekyll and Hyde teams. 1 minute they beat North Carolina, put 46 up on them, and the next minute they're struggling. So for me, it causes pause. I really have to know. It just causes me to pause. And here's the thing: what's Georgia going to do at quarterback by this point too? That's a big question as well. But Jeffrey, what are your thoughts on this game? Like, what do you think?
I feel like that Georgia Tech is a top 10 game because Georgia Tech should have won last year and Haynes King got targeted and they didn't call it because they wanted Georgia in the playoffs. Sorry, but true. And Georgia Tech is a quality team. And like Jackson said, I think they're going to be a quality team again. And it'd be great if they won. I would love to see them win. Yeah, Georgia Tech is a feisty program. They've had moments of greatness in their history, and they've sucked for a while. And I got sick of seeing them suck. And Jeff Sims was trash. And now they actually have a great competitor, as someone mentioned in chat earlier. Haynes King is a heck of a competitor. I love watching him, and I think Brent Key's doing a really good job down there. And yeah, it's going to be more like the old versions of clean old-fashioned hate versus what we've been seeing the last decade or so until last year. It's going to be a good game, whether Georgia Tech wins or not. I think it's going to be a really great game, and can't wait to watch
it. Yeah, and that's one of them. Jeffrey and Jackson kind of convinced me. So we'll come back to this later on. And if Georgia Tech stinks and this game is getting ugly, then I know who to blame. These two. But in all seriousness, though, now it's
That's
time
why
for
they're preseason. So no
yes,
worries.
preseason. And these are all we all voted on them, so I guess I get blamed for it too. But now we're entering the top 5, and this is where you get to the best of the best.
Well, this SEC, this Nets SEC ACC matchup you'll like better than this one.
Now Jeffrey will have to explain the backstory on it because we wouldn't have Georgia Tech without this game, and he'll explain why in a minute. And Jeffrey was the one who said this. But in number 5, you got Week 14, Clemson, South Carolina, noon, and on TV station to be determined. We don't know if it'll be ESPN, ABC, could be the ACC network for all we know.
It's going to be ABC.
It's going to be ABC.
Yeah, it's not going to be on the ACC network because the game's at South Carolina, right?
Jeffrey, yes.
Well, they're not putting it on Disney Plus, that's for sure.
It could be on the CW too, but
no
never mind. Ignore that.
If it's not on ABC, then like even if South Carolina like disappoints, the game should be a major network game.
Mm-hmm. But this, as the headline title says, playoff implications, because Clemson we know is in the ACC. It's them, SMU, Louisville. They're in that hodgepodge. Some people think they could win the whole thing. I've seen that out there. South Carolina, are they a dark horse in the SEC? Could be. And Steve Cherry says South Carolina getting too much hype in my opinion.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. I think South Carolina is getting way too much hype. I feel like their defense has regressed, and I think that Sellers is going to be way more heavily targeted, per se, because he's going to be one of the headline quarterbacks coming into this season. All defenses in the SEC are going to be keying in on them. I don't think South Carolina is going to be able to make the playoffs. I think they could, but I don't see it being likely. And the thing is that South Carolina could win this game and not even, be like in contention for the playoffs. They've done it before when South Carolina's had a rough season. They've still been able to beat Clemson. Then the reason why I said that you needed both of these games, because if you put Clemson, South Carolina here, then you had to put Georgia Tech. Like, they're both the exact same type of game. They're a rivalry between the ACC and the SEC. It's like you have to put both games in the top 10 because they're pretty even. I think this game, we all agreed, is a little bit better, has bigger playoff implications between both schools, possibly. This is all preseason. We don't know how good South Carolina is going to be. We don't know Georgia Tech. And Georgia could be the better game. But I think that this game's going to be good. And I think even if South Carolina disappoints, I feel like it should be another thriller in this rivalry game.
South Carolina could be a 7-4 team. They could be a 9-2 team, an 8-3 team. We don't know what the record's going to look like going into rivalry week because that schedule is tough. We appreciate you tuning in very much. Rough Rider Returns. We always appreciate you tuning in to each of our channels. We love
it. Even though if we're the big three, if we're the Miami Heat big three, Jeffrey's the LeBron. Jackson's the D Wade. I'm the Bosh. I
don't like being compared to LeBron, but I'll take it in this instance.
Hey, at least Jeffrey won't walk off the court when he's losing, but that's no time for him.
Yes. So I'm the forgotten one here. I'm the forgotten one, but it's okay. It's okay. I like being forgotten.
But 4-3.
You're not forgotten, Austin. Trust me.
No, you're
Jackson,
not,
would you calm down? Jackson, you're fired. You know what, Jackson? You just wait. I got a hefty fine waiting for you.
How can Jackson keep getting fired if he's already fired? I mean, it's
well, here's the thing. What I do, Jeffrey, you rehire him, I fire him again. See, you're going to rehire him here in a minute. I'll fire him, give him a hefty fine because he's pushing.
How can you keep firing him if I'm the one rehiring him? That would mean that I have the power to fire him, which I'm not. So you kind of see the logic's not really working there.
Yeah. But
see, here's the hold on. You're stealing my thunder, Jackson. You're stealing my thunder. You're fired again, Jackson. Get. Go. Shoo, dog. Shoo. Anywho, I'm not done with this game. I got more to say. Anywho, so here's the thing. With South Carolina, you look at their schedule. By this point, they could be out of all playoff contentions, right? But what if Clemson is fighting for something? What if Clemson has another situation where they've already got the ACC title game locked up, but they don't win the ACC title game? This is just for an instance. But this game could determine whether or not they miss or make the playoffs. Kind of like Indiana with Purdue kind of situation. I had to throw the Indiana in there for you, Jeffrey. We couldn't go a show without it. But in all seriousness, though, it kind of is like that because Clemson could need to blow them out to get the committee's attention, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. I just still think this 12-team playoff is so dumb. I that every time I hear the word playoff, it hurts my brain.
Well, and here's my question.
All we care about, it's like, I know that's what these games are about, but it's like, I just can't wait to watch this game, whether both teams are in contention for the playoff or neither team's in contention for the playoff. I just think it's going to be a good game regardless.
Is Dabo Swinney?
I didn't really pick my games based off playoff. I mean, really.
I just want to win a game. But, I mean, is Dabo going to be losing to Shane Beamer like he was with the Steve Spurrier? Or is he going to be able to go toe-to-toe with Beamer? Because so far, Clemson does not have a good record against – well, no, it's 50-50 for Swinney against Shane Beamer.
Mm-hmm. But number 4, we're really getting into the meat of the matter here.
It's all about the U.
Jackson. You know what?
all
You
about
two.
the
No,
youth.
what I mean is, Husker, is the fact that now that we have a 12-team playoff, you have to have more justification for teams to get in. I got sick, even though I was so glad Indiana made it, I got sick of Indiana shouldn't have made it, SMU shouldn't have made it, and now we're wanting to get rid of Notre Dame and USC because of making the playoffs. That's why I don't like it. Yeah, it was fun football, but it would have been fun football if those were bowl games too. That's all I'm saying. But
Listen here, you two. Listen, I love you to death, but as your founding father and your EVP, I'm gonna have to fine you both 50,000. Don't let it happen again.
so
Anywho,
Austin was here when America was founded, folks. He was back in 1776. And George
don't forget,
Washington
I'm
and
the
Benjamin Franklin. He time
yes.
somehow if he's a founding father. Because last I checked, Jackson's older than Austin, but be wrong. I don't know.
See, listen, I'm the founding father here. I'm the EVP. I call the shots here. Anywho, back to business because Jackson and Jeffrey, you're lucky I love these guys, or else I'd have to fire them. But anywho, week 4, Florida at Miami, to be determined. Time and network all to be determined. Is the Florida Miami rivalry back? And here's the thing. I know Jason O's having fun with that.
I don't
And see,
understand why he would say Miami by 17 plus unless he's joking. Because I know Jason O's a Florida State fan. You hate Florida. I know you hate Florida more than Miami, but like you should want neither to win. Like I guess it's because with me, I Miami's like my trash team more than Florida. I get for Jason, it's Florida. It's fair. I know he hates Florida more than Miami, but dude, like Miami, you know Miami, right? They're the choke team. They choke. They fall apart. Like
Which Miami are we
I
getting?
think all of us here would root for Florida in this game. Correct? Is that correct, Jackson? You pulling for Florida or Miami?
Honestly, it depends on my mood.
It depends on your mood. Well,
See,
anytime Miami loses their hype, it makes me laugh.
So
I kind of
I only like
go
Miami in this one because Florida wanted to get rid of it in 1987.
here's the thing.
Oh.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna make another hot take for you, but I trust Florida more than Miami going into this year.
That's true.
And I'm not even. And here's the thing too. And Jeffrey, I know you and Jackson have had your moments, but I'm gonna take a victory lap right now. What did you two tell me last year when I said Florida's gonna go 8-4? Everyone literally laughed at me, called me a joke. And what happened? Florida went 8-5.
It feels good when you're vindicated, right?
Yes.
Just like Austin. It was fun when you threw tea in the Boston Harbor, Austin. I mean, you gotta tell us about that sometime, man. You gotta let us know how it was.
Exactly. But anywho, but I remember telling you guys what was gonna happen. And here's the thing too. Like and Florida's better this year than they were last year. DJ Lagway could legit win the Heisman. Like, and I know
I did see last year's game, Jason, but I feel like Florida's going to be better this year.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, too.
Does anybody trust Carson Beck? I mean,
that's the problem.
Carson Beck? I mean, I think Cam Ward is better than Carson Beck. Lose your girlfriend, Beck. Not went to Miami for no reason, Beck. What are you doing? No. All right, I think Lagway is legit. Beck is not. And that to me is enough. I mean, I know that's not a good explanation, but that to me is enough. I'm not picking this game. It would be cool. There's some Miami people I like. Coach Coop, I like Coach Coop down in Miami. There's some Miami fans I like, but the team Miami, they get overhyped every year, and it annoys me. It annoys me hard. Florida hyped up as much as Miami does. It's something about Miami, the U. It's because of that run in the 8. It's over, folks. They're not the same team. They're not.
And here's the 80s are over.
As much I would be annoyed when
Nebraska over.
They don't.
Over.
And here's the thing too. Mario Cristobal's got to come back down to earth, right? And listen, don't get me wrong. Miami's defensive line is great. They brought back a lot of talent on the D line. But if DJ Lagway can stay healthy, Florida can legit. And this is me being serious with you all. I could see a world where Florida could make the SEC title game because their schedule is not that bad. Like if y'all looked at Florida's schedule, it's actually not that bad. There's a
Austin, you overslept, man, like Peter Cottontail, because of that bubble gum, that corn flavor bubble gum. You know what I'm saying? Like you overslept, man. You failed on us, man. Well, that's why we lost the war. Like, come on, man.
Well, I'll tell you, but yeah, it's like because it's like with Miami getting hyped up, like I don't know why, but we could see like Miami have great days against their season opener and somehow win against Florida, but then somehow choke against Virginia Tech and Pitt to end the year. Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Steven's saying going to South Beach for money at his age isn't a bad deal. Just saying.
Oh, he's wasted away again in Margaritaville. But Miami with Mario Cristobal, they could be winning. They could be having a great start again this season, but then they choke away the rest of the season on November. Because, like, they got to go on the road to Virginia Tech and Pitt the end of the year. So it would be hilarious to see Miami choke against Virginia Tech and Pitt at the same time if they're like unbeaten or 9-1 going into those games. Like that would be so funny. But Miami, Florida, we don't know when that's going to be played after 2025. But we suspect there will be a home and home series for the 2030s. They're probably going to play each other in a playoff game or in a bowl game. But we know some way, somehow, we're going to see this game at least once a decade.
So Austin, would you rather Chomp win or the U?
Obviously, honestly, I'd rather the Chomp win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like pulling like hard for either team here. I'm kind of doing it in jest a little bit. I'm not that serious. I'm not like a big Miami hater here. I'm not. It's just the overhypeness, man. When teams that get overhyped lose like A&M and Miami, it's funny. It's just really freaking funny. So that's why I gotta kind of lean Florida here. But if Miami wins, they win. I mean, but I kind of think Florida will be better this year. I'm not making a prediction on that game. It's just this could be a good game. Both teams could be in the playoff hunt. Which again, it's all about the playoff. But Miami always chokes at the end. Florida could be a lot better. I like this game. I think it's going to be a really good game this year. It's not going to be a blowout like last
year. And here's the thing, too. I want to say this, and this is the thing I will say. With the ACC being mid, as you all like to call it, Miami could really use this win. Whereas Florida, being in the other conference, being in the SEC, could find wins somewhere else. So this win is this game.
Hey, at least I was leaning. I was leaning your way. All right, I was leaning your way. That should be good enough. All right, that was a soft lean.
But anywho, so this game could mean more to Miami if we really think about it. Like, not to say that Florida doesn't need that, but let me ask you guys this. Does the losing coach of this game, which coach needs this more? Billy Napier or Mario Cristobal?
I would say Napier still.
My view, I kind of think, I'm going to go with Napier on
Cristobal is in a safer position than Napier still. Like Napier, they had a year last year, but if things snowball this year and they go 6-6, he's still kind of not in good shape, right? Miami, like they were this close to the playoff last year, as hilarious as that sounds. And he's not really showing up on any hot seat lists. Like Napier isn't either, but Napier's one bad game, one bad season away from being right back there. So yes, he needs it more.
And here's the thing too. I will say this. I do think, and this is just my personal opinion before we move on to number 3, because spoiler alert, we're going to see Miami again. Because
when we get to our third game, people are going to know our top 2. Just saying.
Well, they're definitely going to know our number 1 for sure.
But what's number 3? I think it's all about the U.
Yes, it is, Jackson. Number 3, Week 1, Notre Dame at Miami, 7:30 p.m. on ABC Sunday night primetime.
I'm gonna spoil something real quick, guys. I'm sorry, but we almost, because we had A&M Notre Dame and USC second, USC Notre Dame on the list. It was like, I was like, folks, wait a minute, guys. What this game? This game. Like we like, if we had left this game off, it'd have been rioting going on in chat. So you're welcome. You're welcome that we booted A&M. Bye 12th man. And we added the U. We added the U because this is a good game, man. Notre Dame going on the road, Week 1. This is a good game. This is a good game. I can't wait to discuss this one.
And here's the thing, too. This is big time. This is Sunday night prime time. You know, this is Sunday night college football. This is the mecca here. You've got the solo stage, one-on-one, Notre Dame, Miami. And the thing about this, too, is this is how we start our season. This is make or break for both teams because the winner of this game could be a launching pad towards what their goals are, and the loser, it could really hurt. Like for Notre Dame, this could be a momentous loss if you think about it, because since they don't play in a conference, this could be everything. Whereas Miami could make it up and win the ACC at 9-3. I'm not saying it's not important, but this is almost, for Notre Dame not being in a conference, could be a make or break, gotta have it game.
Oh, yeah.
Notre Dame might need this game a little bit more. But go ahead, Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a tough slate for 2025, and this is a good way to start it. And, you know, whoever wins this one, it's going to set up a lot of momentum for 2025.
Are we married to the grind, Jackson? Are we married to the grind?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, don't forget about me here. I'm right here. I'm married to it too.
Well, he did.
No, I was just asking Jackson because I wanted his reaction. But yeah, you are too, Austin. We're all in this, man. We're all
in this together.
Hey, I am tired. But I don't need no Red Bull. I don't need no wings to do this show. All right, I'm fine. We're good. We could go until 6 in the morning if you wanted to, but I really don't. We don't have to. But we do enjoy doing these shows, and we appreciate you guys for being in chat. Definitely. Without you guys, it wouldn't be worth doing. I mean, we love football all the time, but like you guys in chat make it a lot better, like so much better. Appreciate you guys so much for all the support, you know, for all of us. It's always a great time. But yeah, you get tired, yeah, absolutely. But you know, we're still going strong here. But yeah, before Austin gets back though, I mean, my thoughts here, like I said, man, Notre Dame, Miami, 2 major programs, and the game matters, at least in week 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least in week 1, the game matters. All these games are bigger looking matchups when you're 0-0, right, Jackson? Like, a game can look a lot different in week 10 than it does in week 1. But at least
agreed.
Because I mean, what if Miami's like 6-5?
Yeah.
All right, and this was the last game of the season. You know what I'm saying? Like Notre Dame's like 11-1 and Miami's like 6-5. Then the game doesn't matter. Well, Miami they were a major program in the 80s and the 90s, and 2001 they died, and they really died after 2003. So, yeah, not great. I mean, they're not great anymore, but they were a major program, and in college football history, they're a major program, but not anymore. I mean, that's why I joke about them. Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is that, like I said, Notre Dame, they're going to be a top 5 to 10 team. Miami might be a top 10 to 15 team, but at least for week 1, this is a major game. It has a lot of stakes and implications. And whoever wins or loses this game is going to matter big time. I mean, Austin's mentioned that it matters more for Notre Dame. I think it matters for both. Notre Dame might have a tougher schedule the rest of the way, but it does still matter for both because it sets the tone. You lose this game, it sets you off on the wrong foot. It's a game.
Agreed. Oh man,
Jackson was born when Miami was good.
Yeah,
I was born when Miami was They were at the cliff. It's
Yeah,
like
they just joined the ACC.
2001, 2003. I was born, gone, cliff. So it's
Yeah,
like,
I mean, all Jeffrey's seen in person is Miami and the ACC. So it's like, oh, Miami's that great team. He's like, oh, that mid team.
yeah. But I mean, obviously, I still go back and have watched, old clips of Miami, and I respect their heyday. I remember the glory days for Miami, but just not not a really a big relevant program these days. But still, I mean, they do matter. Yeah, I still will laugh at Mario Cristobal for the end of time when he blew the Georgia Tech game because they didn't kneel the ball, though. I mean, I still like you can't. That's why Mario Cristobal was nowhere near my top 10 list in coaching for that singular play. And there's a lot of other reasons, but for that singular play.
And the fact is, Miami always wins the games that they shouldn't, and they lose the games they should. Or it's that way with Mario Cristobal as a whole. Case in point, 2021, Oregon against Ohio State. Woo! Oregon's gonna win it all. 3 weeks later, they piss away a win against Stanford by allowing 99 yards in the final drive of regulation against Stanford. Stanford was pitiful in 2021, and you blew it against them.
I remember that game. I mean, dog in DC says too much hate. We got to talk about Nebraska's fall from century to century. My thing is, dog in DC is the fact that Miami, like I said, my justification and explanation for why Miami, I do trash them a lot, is because their fans, some of them, not all of them, but some of them still think they're a legit program today. And every year they get hyped up and they underperform, and it's annoying. Nebraska, the difference with Nebraska is their fans know they suck, and Nebraska is just completely falling off the edge of the earth, and nobody thinks they're great. And every year, I mean, maybe they get a little bit overhyped, like, oh, they might go 8-4 this year, and then they go 5-7. But it's like with Miami, you'll see people say, oh, they're going to win the ACC, make the playoffs, and then they choke. And that's what's more annoying to me. Like a team that knows they're bad and that they're not as good, it makes me less frustrated. Like, I respect Nebraska fans because I feel for them. Like, they understand how bad their situation is. And even Indiana basketball fans are kind of becoming that way. People say Indiana basketball fans are very arrogant. They still are more so than Nebraska football. Like, even now, Indiana basketball fans are like, yeah, we just want to make the tournament. Like, yeah, we haven't been good in forever. Whereas Miami fans in football, it's like they don't even show up to their stadium because they moved the stadium, to Hard Rock, and they're just a joke of a program, man. It's just and like people saying with Carson Beck going down there, and all that, and whatever.
Oh yeah.
It's Miami, South Beach, and it's like you gotta have players that are focused on the game of football, and Miami just isn't a focused program to me. They're not focused, and that is a major problem. I do see the one comment though where it says, "I'd rather tailgate Miami fans than Nebraska fans." I know people like Nebraska fans are kind, but I don't know. Miami just to me, they just kind of are easier to clown on than Nebraska fan and team in general. But I don't know if you agree with that, Jackson.
It's like beating up on Jerry Smith on Rick and Morty. It's like, yeah, that's kind of what it's like ragging on Nebraska. There's just things you don't do because I mean Jerry's too pitiful. I mean, like Nebraska, I mean, they've kind of just fallen off, but I think Matt Rule can pull them back up.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Jackson. I do think that Matt Rule has a chance to turn them around. It's not guaranteed, but there's a chance. But like, I feel like if Nebraska, like if they get good again, and they become great, like they'll be so thrilled and just elated. And it'll take them a little while to like get back to the Nebraska Bowl where they were used to beating up on everybody. But like Miami has a couple good years, and their fans already think they're like hot, and just great program again. It's like, all right, dude, you haven't done anything yet. You haven't won the ACC. You haven't made a deep run in the playoffs. You're not Texas, right? You're not back like Texas is like back. They haven't won a title, but they're like there. Miami is just, I don't know, man. They're in a bad league. It's just hard to really respect them for what they're doing. They're not like that great. So I don't know. Just to me though, I think this is a big game for both teams. I think Miami will be competitive. They'll do good, overall. But Miami's still Miami. So
Agreed. Huh. Well, I think we know what number 2 is going to be, but that's going to be a fun one. It is an SEC ACC matchup, so we'll definitely give you that hint on that. So
I don't have control of the slides, so yeah, can't really do anything about that.
no.
Change it to number 2. I mean, you want to just go on and say it, Jackson, so we can move on to number 2.
Absolutely. LSU Clemson. That's a good one.
LSU and Clemson is our number 2 game. I think that kind of makes it seem like we know what number 1 is. All right, we got the slides booth. Thank you, Austin. LSU at Clemson, 7:30 p.m. on ABC. The must-win situation, as Austin put. Here's the thing. This is a big game. And when Austin gets back, he will explain why he felt this game should have been number 1. It obviously, for me and Jackson, was not. We know what the number 1 game is in our opinion. But this game feels like number 2 because I think it kind of goes back to slight brand situation. Like Notre Dame, Miami, you could have made a case for it being number 2. And I kind of argued it. I did kind of argue it with Jackson and Austin that it should be. But I feel like this game's just going to get a little bit more hype, man. I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you, Jason. I'm worried LSU might not be that great either. I mean, I've been the one waving the red flag on the Tigers, because not Clemson, but LSU, because of I'm not a Nussmeier believer. I don't think he's a great quarterback. And LSU underperforms every year. They're kind of another team that underperforms every year since the Burrow team. I don't believe in Brian Kelly. And I think LSU they're not a joke, but they're kind of a joke. They're a slight joke. So Clemson's better than LSU. It's at Clemson. It's a big game. It's at night, Death Valley. I can't wait for this game. But yeah, Mary Mac Kent State is definitely not at Hummus. That would be an April Fool's Day joke. But I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a quality game. But you definitely could have argued for Notre Dame, Miami to be at 2. But I think the 2 brand teams here, the amount of hype the game's going to get, it kind of felt right to put it at 2. But it definitely was not number 1. But I definitely want Austin to make it tell us, everybody, why he felt it should have been number 1. Because, like I said, me and Jackson did not. But
so this is one of them. I argued with these 2. And when I say we have a brotherly bond, like we can argue with one another and we'll still be okay. But me, Jackson, Jeffrey kind of had one of them brother arguments, as I like to call it, because I told both of them, I'm like, this is the most important game of week 1, even more than Texas, Ohio State. And I know people are going to say that that's nuts, that's crazy. But when you think about it, the loser of Texas, Ohio State's fine. If you look at it, like Ohio State had 2 losses and still made the playoffs, and they won the whole thing. The loser of this game, you could make an argument this is the most impactful, biggest game to date. And here's why. Here's why. Because if LSU loses this game, just kind of like last year, it hurts their season. Because that one loss, yes. At first, when we were learning this new 12-team playoff system, we were kind of figuring out, okay, how does this all work? But LSU losing that game to USC cost them a playoff spot, in my opinion, because they finished, I believe, with 3 losses. If you take away that loss, or they finished with 4, right, Jack? 3 or 4?
They lost to Bama. They beat Ole Miss. They beat South Carolina shockingly, but they couldn't quite get it done against Florida. And they
Okay.
obviously couldn't get it done in another game that's kind of slipping my mind a little bit.
Okay. So, but you look at that USC game, it essentially was LSU's season because, and as Jeffrey says, the Brian Kelly slander.
Oh
Anywho,
yeah, yeah. They lost to Texas A&M before Alabama. I sometimes forget that because Texas A&M lost the rest of the way afterwards.
and here's the thing too, Clemson being in such a mid-conference, as people like to call it, they've got a chance. But this is also a must-win situation for Clemson with the games that we mentioned with South Carolina coming down the pipe and all these other conference games. As for LSU, I can make a case if they don't win this game, their season could be over. This could be it for them because they play a really rough SEC schedule this year. The schedule makers did not do them no favors. So for LSU, hence why the headline is must-win situation, because you can make a case for both teams need this. Both teams got to have this. Both teams, this is it for them. This is everything. Especially LSU, in my opinion, I think needs it just a little bit more than Clemson. I think they need it. And this could be for Brian Kelly's job as well. Like, I know Jackson, he loves to hear that because he's a BK hater, but we won't let that distract us. But if Brian Kelly loses another opening game, week one big game again, this could be it for him. LSU fans could be like, okay, we're done with you. We don't want you here anymore. Go away. Shoot. And Clemson, we know Dabo's history of not going in the portal as much. And if Clemson loses this game, you could say, oh, he didn't go in the portal again. Here we go. Clemson on another downward trajectory, another. And JT Thomas says Brian Kelly is a dream killer. Jackson would agree with you on that. Like, if Jackson's big thing is he doesn't believe in Brian Kelly, as we all know. But to me, this is as big a game as you could get. To me, this is the biggest game of week one, in my personal opinion. Jackson and Jeffrey disagreed with me. And it's a solo stage. It's Saturday night. The whole world's going to be watching. And it's a solo stage on ABC. The whole world's going to be watching. So this is make or break. But go ahead, Jack.
Well, I mean, we're going to wait and see what happens for LSU. But something to remember is they have not won a season opener since 2019. I mean, that was like during the Ed Orgeron era where, they lost 2020, 2021. But, ever since Brian Kelly's been head coach, they have not won a season opener. Now,
I hate BK also. That fake smoke flavor is terrible, and the onion rings are always too greasy. Well, that accent isn't any good either.
No.
Jackson can give you some authentic Southern accent, and I can too, to an extent. But Brian Kelly cannot. So, I mean, why attempt? Why even try?
It's like a politician trying to fake an accent because they can relate to the people that area.
Oh, it's so dumb when you'll see like the same person be at like 4 different areas, man, and they're doing a different accent in each area just to appeal to the people. It's so dumb, man. It's because it's fake. It's like if it's authentic, it's like eating fake Mexican food, which is what a lot of people say about Taco Bell versus authentic Mexican food. All right, there's a difference. Clint Moses says he misses prime 2011 BK red tomato fake curse on play because now when you watch Brian Kelly, he looks like this.
Yeah, he's just sitting there with a blank.
There's nothing I can do.
He's like that Emmett Kelly.
Absolutely nothing I can do.
It looks like it looks like that clown that I saw in some 50s game show that I saw where he just had that sad face like.
Yeah, when Bama was winning 42-6 last year, that's what he was doing, man. I mean, it was pathetic.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
Fight.
I want to see more of that again.
You will.
There we go. But we lost it for a second. We got it back. There we go. Too many tabs. But like I said, if Jeffrey would be so graciously to pull it up, we all know what number one is. So let's get it over with.
If Caden the man is still here, he will be so thrilled and excited about that. And this
actually,
is
Yes, it is, Jeffrey. As your founding father and EVP,
The founding
we have
father
over.
Dion fan club.
Yes, exactly. The number one game of the year is any game Deion Sanders is in. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules around here, but this is number one. This is the great. Any game that Deion Sanders is a part of is great. This is
Should have made a
great.
Kurt Signetti and Kennesaw State slide.
So, anywho, while we talk about number one here, because this is number one, like Texas, Ohio State, that doesn't even compare. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the greatness of Dion here. And like I said, as your founding father and EVP, Jeffrey, I understand you might be upset. You too, Jackson, but we have to understand I make the decisions here. So we have to live with this. And the fans love Deion Sanders. Look at him go crazy in the chat. They love Deion everywhere. So now that is his recruiting class. Yeah,
JT Thompson, please do not leave us over this oversight here by Austin. We tried to take him out of it. I don't know what he's doing right now, folks. Like we all know what the number one game is, and it's not Dion. It will never be Dion, ever. Like it's just not. We know as much as I clown on the Buckeyes and on Cade the Man's team, it is Texas, Ohio State.
Jeffrey,
that is the number one game. It is not Dion. It's not Kurt Signetti. It's not Jeff Brom,
Jeffrey,
or Archie freaking Miller basketball. It's nobody.
Jeffrey,
literally.
Why are you lying, Jeffrey? See, this is what happens. See, listen here, guys. Jeffrey, he's a big fat liar. Okay. We all agreed that Dion is the greatest game. They all agreed to it.
Where is the slide? We're losing JT Thompson, man. We're losing JT Thompson because
all right.
Come on.
Listen, as your EVP and founding father, I've made an executive decision. I guess we will go on to this slide. Dion, I'm sorry that these people disrespect you like this. You will be justified. But number one is Ohio State, Texas, 12 p.m. on Fox. Must-see TV.
There we go.
Now, listen. This is against my better judgment here because Jeffrey and this Dion slander. Listen, I'm not going to let that go. Jeffrey, as your EVP, I'm going to find you another 100,000, and you're suspended. And you're suspended indefinitely, Jeffrey. You're never welcome back on this channel. You're suspended. So, Jackson?
I'm not welcome back on my own channel, bro. Like, what the? Dude.
Anywho, Jackson, now listen. We're on good terms, but
you can blame the Big Ten for that Trojan fire. How was the Big Ten and the Fox executive decision to be like, you know what? The 7:30 time slot's too crowded. So we'll put a big game on at noon and make millions of dollars. That's why they did. And I know you know that. But we all agree that noon games stink. We like night games better, but that's why they did it. That's why Buckeyes fans are complaining because, we don't get night games. They're the one that signed the contract with Fox to make more money, and that's what they do. So deal with it.
Real fast.
But me personally, before we get to your point, Austin, me personally, you just tell me what time the game is. It could be at the butt crack of dawn. I'll find a way to keep an eye on it. If it's at 5 a.m., screw it, I'll watch it. Like if it's at 9, cool. If it's at
nobody's gonna watch this game at 3 a.m. unless you're a true football fan. That would eliminate all the casuals. Okay,
agreed.
That's the thing.
Agreed. That would never happen. No worries there.
But I know it wouldn't. I'm just saying that you want to truly show the true college football fan. Put a game like this on at 3 a.m. All right, because regular people that watch football every now and then on a semi-regular basis, they're watching this game at 3 a.m. Us people, the people in the chat right here, these people, us. We would watch the game, but we're crazy. So,
anywho, and apparently I'm drunk on some whiskey.
Steven Cherry, you'd be surprised. You're always saying that against the Buckeyes, man. You know good and well our people not be watching this at 3 a.m. America needs some sleep, all right? American people do not sleep enough. You know your insomnia is a problem. Everybody needs more sleep. Do not watch stuff at 3 a.m. All right. When you do, you don't feel good the next day.
But anywho, so people are saying I'm on whiskey and stuff. So listen, guys, they put me in charge of the slides. What do
Whiskey
you
in a
expect?
jar.
See, Jeffrey and Jackson put me in charge of the slides because they were busy doing other things. So they put me in charge of the slides. So when they do that, I take this. I can do what I want. So I did. But in all seriousness, I was just picking, like, everyone take a deep breath. We're all good here. Like, everyone take a deep breath. It's all good. But this is just me having fun, letting loose. I love to do Dion because I know Jeffrey gets going on it. Like, you seen, I got a reaction.
That's why
out
you
of
play
him.
devil advocates with the media, because you knew it would get me going. See, yeah, that's the thing. People like when I start going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Even if my veins are showing and I'm going like I had too many Red Bulls or whatever, which again, don't drink that. My point is though, is like you like the rants. Stephen Cherry likes the rants. Most people like the rants. If you don't like the rants, I'm sorry. That's why it's my channel. It's what we do around here. It's what I do. You know, I get about certain things, and Austin likes that, so that's why he does it. That's why he gets me going a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He knows. Been around me too long. He knows what's going to get me going. He knows exactly what's going to fire me up when it comes to college football talk. The media, Dion, there's a few other things, but those are like top two right now that I can think of because they both have.
Here's the thing
good job,
with the media,
job, Austin.
See, with the Dion, though, I was aiming to get you all fired up on that one. The media, I was just trying to put that out there. That I did not mean to.
I will say, a lot of times when I rant, though, I'm just playing around, but that media stuff actually really did frustrate me, though. It's so annoying. It is so freaking annoying.
Apparently,
this year's Indiana. I'm so over this year's Indiana, and I'm so over the media talking about non-conference games, blah, 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 all that stuff. It's your fault. It is your fault, media. It's your fault because you're the ones that wanted expansion. You're the ones that pushed for expansion. Money, money, money. And then it's like, oh, did not come. It's like, okay, just dumb. And then it's also dumb when it comes to this year's Indiana because no one will ever be this year's Indiana. Illinois sure ain't. You won 10 games last year. You're not this year's Indiana. Those two things, they can go jump off a bridge. Those two ideas. Those two whatever you want to call it. Just
but the reason why we had this game number one is because
it's Texas, Ohio State.
Well, but number two is it's a top revenge game because, like, when we saw the semifinals last season, we knew that regardless of who lost that game was going to be waiting for August 30th, 2025. They were going to be waiting it out. They were going to be waiting it out for August 30th, 2025. Does Texas get revenge? Or do the Buckeyes still show Texas who's the boss?
Well, and I will say this too, Jackson. You were a big component of this. Now, I have to say, when Jackson was selling me on this idea, what really clinched it was Jackson did mention that, but that's not the main reason.
Lee Corso.
Yes, that was what Yes, that's what Jackson was pitching to me. He was like, Austin, listen. He was like, the revenge stuff, that's nice, but this is Lee Corso's last game. How can you not have that number one? So I was like, okay, I do love me some Lee Corso, so I will let it slide for now.
Mark at the Voice of College Football is in the chat. Appreciate it. He says the boys are getting after tonight. That is description of what we've been doing.
Yes.
Well, it's actually water. No worries, Clint.
No, Jackson's not on the sauce right now, and neither is Austin, despite whiskey in a jar.
Besides, never drink vodka by itself. I tried it in June 2019 on a Tuesday, and it tasted like crap.
Words of the wise from
Don't ever
Jackson
drink
Johnson.
that stuff by itself.
See, this is what happens when you're up at 1 a.m.
I know, you just start saying a bunch of random junk. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, Mark saying Timos to Papel off the top of my head. I'm intrigued. If he's giving us his list to see how off we are. That is what I'm interested in right there. How you think we will be, Jackson? How off?
A little bit. I'm sure we're a little bit off.
UNC's not on the list. It's just not on the list.
We're like 2-3 games off, I'd say.
Okay, so since Mark is here, we're going to kind of give him a little recap. So we had TCU, North Carolina at 10 mark. We had Bama, Florida State at 9. Michigan, Oklahoma at 8. We had USC, Notre Dame at 7. Georgia, Georgia Tech at 6. We had South Carolina, Clemson at 5. We had Florida, Miami at 4. We had Notre Dame, Miami at 3. We had LSU, Clemson at 2. Ignore the Dion. That's me picking at Jeffrey and Jackson. And then obviously our number 1. So I'm kind of curious how far we all are off to.
Yeah,
But
I really am.
Well, and I basically lobbied for Iowa State. That was one game I lobbied for. I think,
A&M Notre Dame we would have had on the list, but we didn't because we only wanted to put them twice. It wouldn't be Notre Dame heavy. Others close were like Syracuse, Tennessee, Georgia Tech, Colorado, Florida, Baylor, Auburn, Notre Dame, Boise, etc. But yeah, I feel like overall we did good. I mean, any list is subjective, objective. I know those words are interchangeable. I mean, two different things. But you know what I'm intending when I say that. That's for whatever. Objective and objective is two words that I've say them wrong. Because Mark pointed it out to me one time because I said the opposite, and he was like, "It's this one." I was like, "Thanks." Like I never get that right. But my point is that every ranking can be argued. None of them are perfect. That's why Mark Rogers' top 25 that actually makes sense is so great because he does all the criteria, he does all the stuff to like put together like way better than the AP top 25. And even then, it's perfect. And even Mark would admit his list isn't perfect, but his list is darn good. It is a excellent list, way better than the AP. And the coaches poll, my gosh, the coaches poll, they both suck. They're so bad. I mean, they get better as the season goes along because you really can't screw it up when you have like 10 or 12 games of data that much. I mean, it's still like there's going to be some. But early on in the season, that's why I've always been a believer that there should be no rankings until like at least week 5 or 6 or 4 or whatever. There shouldn't be any rankings week 1. The only reason they have rankings is because people love rankings and it gets people talking. That's why you have preseason. That's why you got rankings the day after the games end. The previous season. That's why they come out like the night of, like the national championship win. The top 25 way too early ranking for the next. It's like, why are you even doing this right now? It's because of ratings. It's because it gets people talking. That's what people do. Blah blah blah. It's like, why? The rankings are never right, man. They're never right. Mark has pointed out every year there's like 1 or 2 teams in the top 10 that finish the season unranked. It happens every year. So it's like the rankings are terrible to start the season.
And the thing too is with this list, like Jeffrey said, it's all subjective. But like I said, we kind of did different things. We did ratings, money. Are you a draw? Do you draw people in? Playoffs, conference. We kind of mixed those all together. Hence why North Carolina's in there because obviously a lot of people aren't high on North Carolina. But I thought Bill Belichick being a ratings draw and having the eyes on him Labor Day weekend on a Monday night when there's no NFL just yet could definitely get some eyeballs on that game. Like if we're being honest, when you look at those type games, what do you think the number will be just off the top of your all's head? 5 million?
You talking about ratings?
Yes. For like a TCU North Carolina, as far as ratings goes, like 5 million.
I mean, that one might be a bit higher because it's a standalone game, but okay, here it is. There
we go.
We got Mark Rogers' list. 1 is OSU, Texas, so we agree. These are in order? Michigan, OU. I don't know if these are in order or not. But he said OSU, Texas, Michigan, OU. So we have that there. LSU, Clemson, Iowa State, Iowa. We don't have.
Okay, this is not in order. He clarified.
So OSU, Texas, Michigan, OU, LSU, Clemson, Iowa State, Iowa. We don't have that one there. Bama, Florida State. See, I told you, Bama, Florida State.
Okay.
USC, Notre Dame, A&M, Miami, Notre Dame. So he put the 3 Notre Dame. South Carolina, Clemson, Miami, Florida. So
Iowa State. There it is.
Basically, we were even. It was the TCU one.
And here's the thing. Like I explained, I thought a lot of it would have to do with Bill Belichick. Like that was for me the big catcher. Now, like I said, some people may look at that objectively and say TCU and North Carolina. TCU probably has a better chance to win their conference than North Carolina does. More than likely, I could be wrong, but I think Bill Belichick having the eyes on him, and if they win that game, it could mean a whole heck of a lot because it could bolster North Carolina to the next level, depending on whatever that is.
Ooh.
Like Jeffrey, you're the
Yeah.
resident UNC guy. What's your expectations for North Carolina?
I never have high expectations for UNC football.
Okay.
I think that like they'll go 7-5. You know what I'm saying? Maybe.
Last time they won the
say
ACC
4.
was 1980, so it's like good grief. But under the radar, Mark says, "Let's go under the radar."
So he's gonna give us some under the radar ones. So definitely, probably gonna be like the Baylor Auburns, type games like that. Maybe.
Oh, there it is: Colorado, Georgia Tech, Utah, UCLA, Illinois, Duke, Notre Dame, Oregon, SMU, Baylor. Yep.
Honestly, Illinois Duke was another one that I thought about. The reason that I didn't ever suggest that game is because Duke, I don't think they're going to be that great. And Illinois is another team that I think people are overhyping, like South Carolina. So that's why I never suggested. But I think that's like the only game we never even like touched. Like, you know how we were touching on the Colorado, Georgia Techs? I even mentioned UCLA, Notre Dame, Arkansas. We talked about SMU, Baylor. We never mentioned Illinois Duke. We never even talked about that game.
And another one I wanted to throw out is I mentioned it, Louisville, JMU. I know, Jeffrey, you mentioned that might be a little bit of a homer pick, but if you think about it, JMU could be good enough to represent the Group of 5 team, or Group of 4, excuse me. Maybe. So if they beat Louisville, which we have a pulse, as Mark likes to say and you like to say, Jeffrey, that could be a good bolstering win.
Yeah, when you don't have a pulse, it means you suck.
Mm-hmm. It could be
when you have a little bit of a pulse, it means you're mid, and when you have a pulse, it means you're good. So that's the skill, folks. If you're wondering.
Oh man. Yep, that was on my under the radar list as well.
The TCU SMU, the Iron Skillet game, definitely a under the radar game. Love Mark's list. Mark is a fantastic list. I mentioned this one too. Cincy, Nebraska. I did mention that game. We obviously didn't put it on our honorable mentions, but I did mention that.
Scott Satterfield's terrible.
KU, Mizzou.
Yes.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing too, Mark. That's a great one. Don't be surprised.
South Carolina, Virginia Tech's a good under radar one.
Yes.
It's like on the outside of the fringe.
Shane Beamer going against his dad's old team. That's a good one.
I wanted it to be there, man, but it's Va-Tech, man. It's they're just not that. They're just not consistent lately. If they were a little bit more of a radar team, right? Like if they were more of like the 8-4 type every year, that definitely would have been there. But they've just been so inconsistently poor, mostly. And that's why I just didn't include that game. But I like that game. I think it could be good.
I mean, if Cincinnati had Luke Fickell as their coach, oh yeah.
And when I said, and I was thinking that exact game, Mark, when I was talking about when you said that every year there's like teams that start in the top 10 and then they fall out of the top 25, UNC instantly popped in my head. They were ranked number 10 going into Blacksburg. Enter Sandman starts, and it's all she wrote. UNC got humiliated. Absolutely humiliated. And that is when I lost my faith in Mac Brown. Honestly, that they were ever going to be anything special. Like UNC was always just going to be like 7-5, 8-4. They were not going to be better than that. When they had all that hype going into that year, and in Blacksburg, week 1, I do remember that game. It hurt. It hurt because they should have won that game if they were a legit team, and they did not.
I remember when like Virginia Tech was so hyped up after that victory, and then afterwards they didn't really do that much in 2020.
No, that's when you knew UNC was no good because Virginia Tech didn't even use that to be anything really special. Notre Dame, Boise.
Yeah, that's
frankly, you could just keep throwing Notre Dame. I mean, you've got Notre Dame, Syracuse, Notre Dame, Boise, Notre Dame, Arkansas. I mean, Notre Dame could be on the list 6-7 times if you really wanted to.
Notre Dame, Navy.
Way to Notre Dame.
Here's the thing too. Another really like under the radar radar game, but Kentucky Toledo, like if like I know a lot of people may look at that and say, "Oh, Kentucky's expected to be bad,"
We're
but
really
Toledo,
stretching it now. Like we are stretching it now, man.
well, look at Mark's got Tulane Northwestern, Tulane Ole Miss. I mean,
These are
so is
like
Kentucky Toledo
under
stretching it?
the radar game with Tulane Northwestern. That's like under the radar. That's like under the graveyard.
Hmm?
Josh
That-
Shire, man. I mean, he's got those
That's fair.
Tulane
I mean,
boys rolling.
mhm. And Mark says, look at Tulane's non-con game. Yeah, Tulane didn't skimp out, Mark. That's what I got to say. They took on the challenge. They wanted
Maybe they're
no
hoping
doubts
if they win a couple of them, they'll make the playoffs, man.
Playoffs? I just want to see if
No.
they win a game. I'm just
Here's
kidding.
the thing. I know we had this argument with Boise State, but if Tulane legitimately has 2 losses and win the American, I mean, look, that their non-con could be something to look back on if somehow we have another Boise Clemson situation. I doubt that's going to happen because of the way the new format is, but Tulane loading up like that, I think it's good, just as long as they don't overdo themselves, put themselves in such a hole that they can't come back.
Yeah, South Florida's cooked, man. They're cooked.
Gone.
I mean, like, what do you even expect it to do here? I mean, Jackson's getting the belt out right now.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Jim
questioning what were they
Leavitt is
thinking?
not coming back through those doors anymore.
Yeah, it's like angry video game nerd, man. What were they thinking?
Let me ask you: do they think playing you all close, meaning Bama? Did they think they're like, okay, since we played Alabama close, let's try?
I think Northwestern re-hires Fitz.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
No,
that is not happening.
No, not happening. I'd be shocked if that happened. I really would.
Like Oklahoma at Temple, like Jason O said, that could be. I mean, Jeffrey, would that be another one of your under the radar games?
I mean, I said, no. I mean, you're just getting to the under the radar. Like,
I don't bring up because Jason
it's so under the radar. It's not even really on my radar.
I mean, if I'm having
I'd watch the game if there was nothing else on, but other than that, like, I'm not watching this game.
If I'm having like 3 hours of sleep or something watching this game, I'm probably gonna go sleep if I'm watching Oklahoma Temple. Then I'm gonna wonder, what did I miss?
Yeah, so Jason O says the 746 fans in the link are going to be crazy for that one.
I tell you what's going to be funny, and you all are going to laugh at me, and I'm sure the chat's going to go, absolutely, yes. The Cowbells, yes. I'm glad Mark brought that up.
I mean, that's a game, again, you're testing the bottom of the barrel of the SEC with one of the best Big 12 teams, and it's probably going to be a dog. It shows you how much stronger the SEC is than the Big 12.
Mm-hmm. But to what I was saying, though, Jeffrey, people may laugh at me. Montana State and Oregon, that game I think is going to fly under the radar because Montana State is legitimately one of the best teams in their respective FCS. So could Oregon have another Idaho incident?
Yeah, but see, here's my thing about that, though. Oregon had the Idaho incident because they were trying to work in their offense with Dylan Gabriel, and they weren't showcasing everything they had because they wanted to save everything that they possibly could have thrown at Ohio State, which they did, and they won by one play. And my thing is like that doesn't make the game good. Okay, Oregon absolute was dog crap against Idaho. So if that game's close, it's because Oregon is playing like trash, not because Montana State is anywhere near their level. Because that was so stupid. That Oregon-Idaho game was so dumb. Like, people kept saying, oh, my gosh, Idaho almost beat Oregon. Okay. Oregon played crap. Oregon wasn't even doing anything, man. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
Oh, man. Yeah, Mark's got another for you.
Vandy at Virginia Tech, love the game. Love this type of game because Vandy, kind of relevant now. Virginia Tech, that's a really good. And then Utah at Wyoming, as Mark points out as well. I remember the Texas Tech game. The problem is, though, is that Wyoming is not as good now without Craig Bowl at head coach. They are not as good without Craig Bowl. This would be a huge game for Wyoming to win, though.
Oh, great. I've been talking about doing like a little parlay thing with Austin because like parlays are okay, Kentucky. So I bet they about like when we do something like that, I'm putting Utah, Wyoming on that list. Same with Arkansas, Memphis. Because I talked about that with my latest Jackson episode with Ty Hudson. Like I could see Arkansas losing to Memphis and then like pulling out like a scare on Notre Dame of some kind. Like it would not surprise me because like Notre Dame is one of those teams that loses that one game they shouldn't with Marcus Freeman. I don't know why, but I do feel like they could lose that one game they shouldn't in 2025. I don't know what game it's going to be exactly, but we saw it in 2024. We saw it in 2022. Don't be surprised if that's the case for 2025.
It's a good game, though.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, Arkansas.
I mean, here's the
game. I think that definitely could have an upset there. And like Mark said, Tennessee Cuse. We definitely talked about Tennessee Cuse. I mean,
yeah, Austin. Yeah, Austin advocated the most for that one right there.
It's a good game. Like it's a good game. Top 10 this year, in my opinion, but it's a good game.
So Jeffrey, real quick, if you want to hit on it. So Mark, me and Jeffrey, Jackson was kind of in the middle of this, but we were, I guess you would say, having a discussion. I thought Syracuse, Tennessee, you could make a strong case for a top 10 game because Syracuse, in my opinion, is a dark horse / maybe a contender in the ACC. And Tennessee was a SEC favorite, I guess you would call it. But then Jeffrey pointed out to me, well, since losing Nico, that game has lost its luster. And so Jackson kind of was like the balance in between us. He's like, okay, we'll put it on the honorable mention. And Jeffrey, you're not wrong looking at it. If Tennessee had Nico, I kind of see where you're coming from. That game would probably mean a whole heck of a lot more. But since it's going to be Joey Aguilar back there, it's going to get interesting.
He just doesn't really draw that much brand appeal, He coming from App State, he's just not that type of. Mark says Wisconsin, Bama, if it were 2015, not 2025. It kills me with Wisconsin. Back in 2015, they were great in football and they were great in basketball. Look at them now. Basketball, they're still all right, but football, they stink.
There you go.
And see, the argument I made for Bama, Wisconsin was if Bama loses to Florida State, then this is a big if, the Wisconsin game almost becomes a must-win for Kalen DeBoer. Jackson's talked about it in Alabama Crimson Tide Live with Johnny. Jeffrey's talked about it on their call-in show. And that's why I put it in my honorable mention. I'm not saying it would go in my top 10, but it's right there, especially if the big if happens. If Bama loses opening day to Florida State. Now, obviously, if they beat Florida State like they should, then obviously you wouldn't want to follow it up and lose Wisconsin by no stretch, but you can afford to let one go.
But we will go big for those weights, of course. Like,
see,
no
Jackson,
doubt.
You scare me. See, Mark, I love Jackson, but he scares me with that. Like, man's a mad scientist. Like, he scares me for Wisconsin? Anywho.
It's a bad scientist.
Bad scientist.
I mean, we lined up 4 people for Oklahoma week for last year. So it's like, hey, we had to go big.
Yeah, Mark's like, as Jackson knows, Bama beat Wisconsin 35-17 in 2015 in Arlington. Yeah, because Jackson remembers all that, man. Like, to the day.
September 5th, 2015, Chris Falker, Curb Street were on the call. They're kind of like, what are we doing at the Jerry Dome exactly? Somebody pay us to be here? It's like, we're touchdown Alabama. Yep. Good night, everybody. Like, that was so funny.
Now, to be fair, though, that team went on to win the whole thing. So,
yeah.
And I understand 2015 Wisconsin is different than the Wisconsin, obviously, as Mark said. But Alabama went on to win the whole thing that year. So, Wisconsin has no shame in getting blown out in that game, if you consider the score a blowout. But, I mean, here's the thing. I don't know if we talked about it. We went all over the place. But let me ask you something, Jackson. Who do you think this is a perfect ending for Lee Corso? Texas, Ohio State.
Well,
Is this perfect
yeah,
ending?
because
Yeah,
honestly,
you can look at it that way.
yeah, because like in 1996, it all started with Brutus the Buckeye, and
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna end with Brutus the Buckeye.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
And the
got to
reason
put the Buckeye hat, the mascot head on, dude.
and the reason why I asked the perfect ending because Florida State is, his alma mater. He loves Florida State. He's made no bones about that. So that's why I asked, do you think this is the perfect ending? Or
Yeah.
should he
Well,
have
I
gone
mean, if
back?
Florida State was better right now,
Yeah.
I would have done that.
Yeah.
Because,
Personally, I really didn't care where they were going to put College Game Day. I'm just like, let us know where Corso is going to end the era. We'll talk about that.
I'm just glad Lee Corso got to go to Indiana last year.
Exactly. I actually
Right
thought
at the end.
yeah, I mean, I actually thought they were going to end it in the Lee Corso era right then and there with Indiana, Washington.
Yeah,
Plus,
because I mean, he's got the Florida State connection, he's got the Indiana connection. It was cool.
and the fact of the matter is, you had like the mayor of Bloomington saying this is Lee Corso Day, which told me right then and there they know everybody knows something was up on air, off air, like off air they kind of knew something was up, but on air they just kind of you know this happy day, stay the moment. And yes, he did, Mark. He has picked Ohio State more than any other team in the history of College Game Day.
That does not surprise me at all.
Mm-hmm. Now I wonder. I know this is a noon game, but I wish Big Noon for just would let Game Day have the solo stage for this, being it's Lee Corso's send off. I understand Big Noon's got to get their coverage in. Light
They
goes on.
have
They
to
got
do it. I mean, it's contractually obligated.
I know, Jeffrey. That's what I'm saying. In a perfect world, let Game Day have the day, so Lee Corso gets his final send off. Everyone can just send him off into the sunset.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe they could make like an exception, like TNT did with Craig Sager in the 2016 NBA Finals, where it's like, okay, like Sager, I mean, he's not gonna be able to be around after 2016, so we're gonna let ESPN bar him for the 2016 NBA Finals. Now, I do wish they'd do something like that for Lee Corso, where it's like, we'll just let Saturday Night Football have Texas, Ohio State, make an exception for this one. And kind of the same thing when it gets to that point where Dick Vitale is retiring, when that day comes, where we see ESPN go, you know what, we're gonna throw we're gonna throw Warner Brothers Media a bone and just be like, oh, we're gonna let CBS, my mistake, Paramount. We're gonna let Paramount, Warner Bros. Have a bone here and just have Dick Vitale cover March Madness for whatever year he's gonna be in his final year.
Which let me ask you guys, if Big Noon didn't go to this game, what other game would they have gone to, in your opinion? Like, what other game would they have picked out?
Well, don't they have to pick a Fox game?
Yeah, they got to pick somebody.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if we were to make this the primetime game, like you said, where would they go for noon? Like, would they?
Well, I got to look at the week 1 college football.
Oh, it's terrible. The week 1 slate's kind of.
That's what I'm saying. Fox was almost kind of backed in a corner here.
I mean,
like
Michigan, New Mexico. You kidding? Oh God.
Oh Lord!
You can't
don't
put
make Gus
USC on Big Noon kickoff.
Don't make Gus Johnson call that game.
You're gonna make Maryland go on Big Noon kickoff.
Oh jeez.
So they kind of had to pick
Auburn, Baylor.
Yeah. Let them have that one. But yeah, any notes before we head on out?
I just saying this. I think we made a pretty overall good list. Even oh my gosh,
Mark does not like Gus Johnson. Gus
Okay.
Johnson called the Michigan New Mexico game.
Mark, you're what poor Gus Johnson do to you, Mark? He don't deserve that.
Mark don't like Gus Johnson because he says he makes like 10 mistakes per game, which is not technically wrong.
I feel bad for poor Gus Johnson when they made him call Purdue, Ohio State. It was just like it was
Dude,
like
Ohio State should not get a big noon game against Purdue or against Indiana when they're bad. Like, okay, all right.
it was almost like pity, like because literally Ohio Jack Sawyer, I think he scooped and scored, and Gus Johnson was like fumble, touchdown, Ohio State. And I'm just like, this poor man is just he's just like, can I be somewhere else right
It just
now?
gets nauseating at that point, man, when you're watching a blowout like that, a game that you already knew was gonna be a blowout. Yeah,
Like Joe was trying
contractual
to.
obligation that they do it, but you know.
And Mark says Gus Johnson is one of the worst CFP announcers. Wow.
Yeah, he says, I have a running joke with Corey Brad. I text him as soon as Gus makes a mistake. It's never more than a minute or two into the game. I mean, I always like Gus Johnson because he was funny to me. Like, he would crack a lot of jokes. I feel like Gus Johnson was funnier in his earlier days of commentating, but I do agree with Mark, though, that he does make a lot of mistakes, which I guess, again, when you're a commentator, you're supposed to know the game. You're supposed to not screw up a lot, but he's just a different personality, but it is fun. That's what I'm saying, Husker. He's kind of fun. That's why I don't hate him. He's kind of fun. He is funny at times, but Mark is correct that he's not. I don't want to say not most knowledgeable, but like he does make a lot of mistakes, but I think he's funny. So that's why I kind of have a soft spot for him to an extent.
Real quick on that point, Jeffrey. I was watching the Louisville Notre Dame game last year on the Peacock app, and they had Jason Garrett and I believe Tony Dungy on the call, and I thought nothing of it. And I'm sitting there watching that and listening to them, and they're a very underrated duo. I don't know if you've all, Jackson, I'm sure you have. Have you listened to Tony Dungy on commentary?
Oh,
like he gives you the mindset, like he'll tell you what's going to happen, and he'll break it down from a coach's perspective. He gives you this insider knowledge, like you never think about it. You just try to look at it from a player's perspective. Tony Dungy breaks it down from a coach's perspective, and I'm like, I never thought of it that way. And then Jason Garrett too as well. And I'm like, they're an underrated duo because mostly I think they call the Peacock exclusive games. But don't get me wrong, I love the Saturday night crew of Noah Eagle and Todd Blackledge. I mean, Noah, he's like his father, Ian. Like he doesn't get it. He gets it legit. But I thought I would say that because I thought they're an underrated duo.
yeah.
I don't know if you've ever,
fair.
Jeffrey.
Yeah.
I don't know how much have you heard of them.
Well, I don't have a Peacock, but I have.
Oh, that's right.
I have heard highlights, so yeah. I mean, they're good. Mark said, "I hear he's a great guy, so trying to go off on him." Yeah, I like Gus Johnson. I do. Mark says, "Give me Dave Pasch, Greg McElroy, and Tom Luganville together." I like Dave Pasch. I think Dave Pasch does good. He used to crack me up with Bill Walton, man. Rest in peace, Bill Walton. But he used to crack me up with Bill Walton, man, because like he would try so hard to just be like, Bill, what game, like we're calling a basketball game here, and then Bill Walton be talking about cactuses in Arizona or somebody day or put peanut butter on the camera. It just cracked me the heck up, man.
Now, to quote Jackson's favorite, he loves him some Sean McDonough, especially the touchdown, Clemson. Clemson's out in front. That's Jackson's thing. Sean McDonough's his guy.
Oh yeah, he's even got like a whole short where he's like impersonating.
Exactly.
Well, dedicated. What can I say? But
Mark said that NBC crew is brutal.
Oh, Mark. I actually like the NBC crew. Like, they're one of my favorites to listen to when it comes to college sports. Like, I like them.
RG3 is pretty cool. So there you go.
Nobody beat Keith Jackson. Yeah, Keith Jackson was great. Mark likes Bob Wischusen with Lewis Reddick or RG3.
That's interesting.
Oh,
Danielson used to be great. I agree that Danielson's gone downhill, but I just think it's age, honestly. I think some people have like a prime, and then like it just gets kind of repetitive and redundant after.
Oh, he went from I'm going from calling Alabama, Georgia to this with Notre Dame, Purdue.
I liked RG3. I really did, man. It's a shame it happened the way it happened with ESPN.
One of the other things I want to mention, Joe Tessitore. I know people give him a lot of crap for Georgia's going to be in the playoffs. Georgia's going to be in the playoffs. I know a lot of people give him crap. But hold on, Jeffrey. Before you go on your rant, because I have a feeling another one of your classic rants is coming. If you put that aside, he's generally got it enthusiastic for the game.
Tessitore made me sick. He made me sick.
I love Joe Tessitore.
One game can ruin a guy, and that game made me sick. You cannot say the same crap 100 times. You cannot. I mean, I know Tessitore. I know.
Don't let Jesse Palmer.
Playoff, you want Georgia in the playoff. You want Georgia in the playoff. That's why he kept saying it. It was just nauseating. Hummus says Brad Kessler's still good.
Oh yeah.
Stick to
why did ESPN let him go? Why didn't they like beg him or get on their knees for him?
Which woman is he talking about? I'm trying to remember because there's several of them. I think.
I'm thinking like Beth Mowins. He must be
Beth Mowins, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I know Doris Burke does the NBA. You know, Beth Bowens. There's another lady that does like Big Ten Network games, but I don't know. I mean, most of them do sound kind of like
she. Well, I've heard her say down to the side, like a dude, but it's like
they kind of do sound like the opposite sex, though. I don't of what they. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, they kind of do sound. I mean, like the sideline reporters, they sound like women, you know. But the people in the booth, I mean, I hate
it's funny.
They just don't sound like the sideline reporters.
So it's funny. Mark brings up boxing for Tessitore. Tessitore actually calls WWE events, which, like, I'm a wrestling fan, so I enjoy listening to him.
That's why Austin likes Tessitore, but he's not a football guy, man. Georgia's going to make the playoffs. Georgia's going to make the playoffs.
Well, here's the thing. We can get Jackson. See, we can get Jackson started on this, but Jesse Palmer, Jackson's got beef with him.
Palmer, I like Jesse Palmer okay as a human being. Don't know him personally, but like as a human being, he's fine. And the other stuff that he does, I don't care about the Bachelorette. That's junk and the cooking shows or whatever. But Palmer, as a football commentator, he's not the greatest. He's not terrible, but he's not the greatest to me. I don't dislike him, man, but he frustrated me during that Florida State game. He frustrated me with Louisville when he was already basically giving it away, like, Florida State's not making the playoffs. It's like, dude, come on, Palmer, come on, man. Like, it annoyed me. That annoyed me. I don't dislike Palmer, but that annoyed me really badly with that. Like it's like he was here. You know what I'm saying? It's like it was like, oh yeah, they're not gonna make the playoffs. It's like, dude, you know something, bro. I don't like that.
Well, see,
you like David Pollock, and I miss him on game.
And here's another thing too. Kurt Herbstreit. I know he gets a lot of flack. And
Kurt
Jackson's
gone downhill. I like Herbstreit better.
See, here's the thing too with Herbstreit. See, the thing was about him, what got a lot of people, I guess, upset was the way he acted when Bama beat Auburn. Because Jackson noticed this before I did, or I don't know if he did before you, but Jackson said he saw a video of him cheering like, yes, come on, Bama. Like cheering, like, which is fine. I'm sure all of them have favorites, but if that is, like, that to me, that's kind of like an okay. I understand you wanted Bama to make the playoffs, but don't show that.
Yeah.
And Mark says Herbstreit is a pro, really good. Not one of my favorites, but top 10.
That's what I'm saying. Like Kirk Herbstreit, when I was a kid, was like in my top 3. I loved watching games with Kirk Herbstreit calling them. Now I'm just like, I think it's unfortunately more of the times we're in. I really do. Like I feel like some of these guys are compromised on what they say during games, which is why with Palmer, Florida State's not going to make the playoffs. Florida State's not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That was wrong. That was wrong. I don't care that he was right. I don't give a crap that he was right. But you cannot tell me, man, the first half, as long as Florida State wins the game, they're going to make the playoffs. That's Palmer. Then second half, they're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to make – no. I didn't like it. I'm sorry, but I just lost a lot of respect. I don't care if that's what he was told to say. I don't care if he – it's just you can't – renege on what you just said an hour. You can't do that. And that I lost a lot of respect for that.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
Like that, I don't forget.
That's what made you upset about Joe Tessitore, if you think about it. Because here's the thing. He kept saying over and over again, he was like, if Georgia wins this game, they're in the playoffs. It doesn't matter what happens next week against Texas. Georgia's in. Georgia's in. Georgia's in. I can understand that. I kind of was like, okay, dude, we get it. Georgia's in.
It gets on my nerves, stuff like that. I mean, I feel like with Herbstreit, it's like before, I felt like it was just so like he always just broke the game down. It was so he was so nuanced, and now there's always an agenda. You see that word right there. There's always an agenda.
You can hear it too.
And that's what I don't like.
Yeah.
That's the thing that got me upset about it at the end when Georgia scored. He was like, Georgia's in the playoffs.
And Haynes King got beat up in the head when he got beat up in the head. And I'm like at my TV and I'm like, that's targeting. That's targeting. Crickets. Absolutely nothing from those guys. They didn't say nothing. It's like, Georgia got the ball back. If they win the game, they're in the playoffs. And I'm like, no, Haynes King's on the ground. Haynes King just got slammed in the head and you don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You're not saying nothing about it because it's like message. Georgia's going to make the playoffs.
Yeah. See, and that's
sorry, but I lose respect for people, man. I know
when
they work for people, but I don't like that.
And Jeffrey, another thing too is before we head on out of here, because I see Jackson's got that look, that faraway look.
Like, I'm done. I want to go to bed. Look, I don't blame him.
But real quick, it's when Georgia Tech scored that 2-point conversion. That to me was like, okay, you heard them silent. They were like, oh crap, this is not good. But then when Georgia scored, they're like, yes, we're going to another overtime. And then when they scored that final one, they're celebrating everybody. And then you hear Kirby Smart so stoically like, no one believed in us. Our backs were against the wall. And Jeffrey, I remember we had a call.
Oh my gosh, I'm like, bro. No one believed it. It's the same thing with Travis Kelce. Like before even all the Swift stuff, and people are like, "Oh, I don't like Kelce anymore because of the Swift stuff." I remember when that guy was like, "No one thought we could win. No one thought we had any shot to win. We overcame the odds." And I'm like, "Bro, you were favored to win the game, and I picked you to win the game." And tons of people picked you to win the game, but it's like, oh, you got to gaslight Americans and thinking that no one believed in you. You're full of crap. You were so full of crap, and I lose respect to people overnight for stuff like that. You can gain it back, but it's going to take a lot of time for me to the respect and trust in an individual after they say something that stupid like that ball-faced lie to all of America. And then 90% of people on social media act like they just laugh that stuff up. Whereas the normal people are like, yeah, you're full of crap, Kelce. But then the rest of them are like, oh my gosh, Kelce said this. We always doubted him, but we never.
Jeffrey, how did we bring Taylor Swift into this?
Because. So Mark says Dusty is really good. Dvorak, I think is how you say that last name. How are you feeling on Dusty?
I like him. I mean, honestly, he don't call many Louisville games. That's the thing. Like a lot of times we get either Tessitore or we'll get we hardly ever get a Herbstreit unless it's like a super, super big game. We'll get Tessitore or Dave Pash. We're kind of in that. Dvorak's not really our guy. Like, and for Indiana, like I know when you watch him, Jeffrey, you all get what? You'll either get who is y'all's main? Like, what do they stick y'all with?
Well, I mean, now if we're on CBS, we're getting Nestler. If we're on Fox, I mean, you get the Big Noon people. If you're on the Big Noon with Johnson and Klatt, you'll get Brock. You know, if it's a 3:30 game or whatever. But we get a lot of those Big Ten people. You know, we get like that one Big Ten person. You know, or the FS1 people. So that's what Indiana gets. Mark says he likes Brock Heward. He likes him. You like him, Jackson and Austin. You like Brock.
He's all right with me.
He's all right.
I do. And Mark throws us. I guess I don't know if you call that a shot, but IU is relegated to the Big Ten Network.
We're getting better, Mark. We are no longer the doormat like Greg Schiano. Kurt Signetti has found a way to become relevant. And that's why we had CBS game and Fox game last year and NBC game. We were on all the major networks last year. The UCLA game was on NBC, massive game, blew them off the door, just destroyed them. And then that CBS game was classic with Michigan, a classic game. And we don't really want to talk about the Ohio State game, but on Fox. But I'm still like, Rutgers didn't have that. Rutgers did not have that. So
now
we're getting better.
Rutgers did have a Friday night blackout game against Washington, and that was a big deal for them.
No one cares.
Yeah.
Gabe Pickup and Adam Lamparello at the Voice of College Football at Rutgers cared.
I love Adam, but the thing is that just not it, man. Just not it. Yeah, see, I'm not. What Mark says, I know Jeffrey, your guy on the IE channel, he's back out with propaganda over the top. I'm not Alec.
Oh boy.
Not Alec Baldwin either, but I'm not Alec Keyser over on the Indiana channel. I have a relatively nuanced approach to Indiana football. I've always overhyped them when they were bad by saying they were going to go 6-6 instead of 5-7. And now, while people are saying 9-3 or 10-2, I'm leaning more 9-3, 8-4. I haven't made my official prediction yet, but I'm still leaning kind of 9-3. But I'm taking a little backseat. Like Indiana could have a worse record this year with a tougher schedule. I'm not crazy. I never said they were going to make playoffs last year. I just know Indiana's a lot better now, and I'm enjoying it. But I'm not crazy. I'm not like some of these fringe now. I'm not saying Alec. Alex doing a great job on the Indiana channel, but some of these like fringe Twitter people now that are like Indiana fans that are like, oh my gosh, Indiana's going to win it all next year. No, we're not going to do that.
There's people saying that. You're not.
Yeah.
Like joking. Two people. All right. Two.
Okay.
X people. We got Dave.
You sleep well,
is
Mark.
one heck of a drug. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I think people who do it are absolutely insane. But I'm not on the sauce, bro.
Jeffrey, on that note, I think it's time for us to get to Betty Bye. So
Mark is ready to go to bed. He says, I'll let you guys move on. I enjoyed it. Have a good night. I appreciate it, Mark. Thank you so much for stopping by. And we got Steve said, agreed, Mark. Jeffrey's a Signetti reference on every Alabama show. It has to happen.
B-Bean, why are you trying to start trouble? We're trying to promote ourselves here. Jeffrey, handle that real fast, and then I'll promote you guys.
Indiana is not a college football powerhouse, but they are a relevant program in the year 2025. PD.
Okay.
That is a fact.
Okay.
They are relevant now. They're not a powerhouse.
Listen, B-Bean. Listen, Jeffrey will kiss the royal gator foot like I had to, and your almighty gators
I even said lean. You know how they got lean R, lean D, or whatever on the map? Well, you want to know what? I lean F. I lean F over M. So Florida, I lean them currently over Miami. But we'll see when that game comes.
And Mark said,
I never will say this. Unless Indiana goes on like a 10-year run, national titles, I'm not saying it. I will only say this if Indiana wins multiple national titles, and that's not going to happen.
Jeffrey, after 1 year, what is wrong with your fan base? Why are all of a sudden they calling them a pirate?
It's like Creedence Clearwater Revival said, it ain't me. All right,
Jeffrey, I know it's not you, but you're in the fan base. You're like you're part of the brotherhood.
Base, but I'm also an Alabama fan. I know what powerhouse is. All right, they don't. So,
Jeffrey, you're in the brotherhood.
Okay, Jones, settle down.
You know you're enjoying it, Jackson. You know you're enjoying it.
See, anywho, but like we always say, this is what late nights are for, I guess. I mean, I know we try to be in bed, but sometimes you get on the Taylor Swift.
Take 3 hours, 6 hours, apparently.
Yeah, sometimes it takes us 3 hours to say what we could have said in about an hour. But you know what?
Hey,
are here, and we appreciate it.
That's just no fun.
It's no fun to just be like, all right, at number 8, we've got this game because this game is better than the number 9 game. All right, now number 7 is this game because number 7 is better than the number 8. Yeah, okay, no one cares. All right, see the thing.
And we're
man.
And we're legitimately best friends with one another. We enjoy each other's company.
Exactly.
But
Antoine Randall L went 5-6 at Indiana because he had no support. Hey, Antoine Randall L with Signetti would be legit, but that's the problem. They were no good back in 2001.
I'll tell you,
Indiana's better now than they were then, even though they don't have an Antoine Randall.
Okay.
Hummus, I'll tell you next week if I can find it.
Okay, so to put this all to bed, Indiana
I
is
just
just
know it
fine.
ain't me. It ain't me.
Indiana is doing just fine. Signetti got them rolling. The confetti's rolling in Indiana. It's all good. We don't need to compare them. We don't need to do none of that. Let them have their moment, and we'll be all good. So here's what we'll do now. No more Indiana. No more. Or as your founding father and EVP, I will fire you all. Give you jobs and fire you. Anywho, there's a lot of things going on this week, especially for you two. Well, maybe more for Jackson than you. But there is one thing we can
What is
tell
that
people
supposed
about.
to mean?
Listen, I'm trying to get to my transition here,
What
Jeffrey.
is that supposed to mean?
It doesn't mean nothing. Jackson's just he's running the team rules. You are busy with outside. Anywho, Jackson and of course Johnny Burks, and if Jeffrey decides to show up because he's busy with Buffy, so that's a touchy subject. But Jackson runs a beautiful, beautiful program, and it's Alabama at the Voice of College Football, where he delivers you great premier content, kind of like beef, chicken, and pork products. It's prime graded premier. It's the good stuff, and he's got a lot of stuff going on this week. Jackson, take it away. Promote
Well, we've
yourself.
got the 46th edition of Crimson Tide Live, where we're going to go over our take on SEC Media Days for the Alabama Crimson Tide, what we expect. And we're going to be going over our take on Bill Still's rankings for Alabama going into 2025. And we've got more news coming for you, all right there on Alabama The Voice College Football, Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Time. 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time. And you can check Jeffrey and I out on the Alabama Call-In Show, where Jeffrey and I take your calls, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay. And, of course, you can check out the Alabama Primetime Live Show with Coach Smook and Manny Wilson. And, Coach Birch, Jeffrey, and I are going to be having it all for you Monday night. Tune in.
It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, real quick, Jackson. I got to handle this injustice because I'm so mean. Do you not see the man up here in the corner across from me? He's the definition of mean. He's over here bossing. I'm just trying to be nice and set orders. Jackson's trying to tell people to hurry up.
You're the one that literally just fired and refired and refired.
No. See, here's the thing, Jeffrey.
I'm the one doing that kind of junk.
See, Jeffrey, I was giving you a compliment. I give you a compliment. I was telling you and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like, that was not injustice. If anything, Jeffrey, you should be complimented with that.
Pete says Jeffrey is as innocent as the driven snow. Honestly, I don't know if you're saying I'm really innocent or not innocent. I have no idea from that. I mean, time to unionize against all. I mean, what even is this at this point? I mean, I say this like every show now. Like, what even is this show at this point?
Is this an uprising against me?
Mark left at the right time, because now it's off the rails. It's gone.
See, it's gone. And see, Jackson up here loving to death, but over here saying, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Like, goodness gracious, Jackson. I understand, good buddy, that you have places to be.
Dude, you're in Central Time too, man. Like, you got it better than I do.
Yeah. Like,
you got it better than I do, man. You got an extra hour on me. I've been up forever.
Yes.
I'm tired as heck, man. I'm still going strong.
Exactly. And Jackson, I'm emotionally exhausted, but I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready to argue some more if I need to. Like, if Jeffrey wants to start an argument, I will take it.
Good. I honestly am good. I could, and I would, but I kind of would like to go to sleep. But
okay. Yeah. Anywho, Jackson. Finish on.
And of course, you can check me out right here on Jackson Johnson 979, where I'm 323 subscribers away from that magic number 1,000. Where I've got numerous episodes of the Jackson, including my latest episode with Tuss Talk with Ty himself, Ty Hudson, where we talked a lot about the Arkansas Razorbacks football team, basketball team, much, much more. And you can check me on Jats VOCFB on @/Twitter and on Instagram with those Jackson Johnson 543-908. Tune in. You won't want to miss it.
Definitely.
But
Also, again, here at Only Talk Sports, I'll have more videos and shorts coming out for you. Definitely. Oh, that's funny.
okay, BB, that's not
But
funny.
I still thought it was funny, but I don't know. Maybe that's just my
Jeffrey,
in the morning.
you,
But that was kind of funny. I mean, let's be real.
oh my gosh,
But
God, if you're listening,
God,
help me.
forgive everybody here. I guess except Austin, since he's he's above that. But I think check out Only Talk Sports. If you enjoyed the show, you'll definitely enjoy more. So subscribe down below and like the stream and follow on my X account as well. I definitely appreciate all the super chats from Caden, including this where he said the Cardinals were dog crap for some reason, and the one where he said we were sick, and or he was sick. I don't know. And Troy V, we appreciate his super chat as well. And I will be live next week, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it.
I mean, we went way off the rails, but anywho,
We won't go off the rails next week.
Well, Jackson, we can't make that promise.
I doubt it, man. I'm not promising nothing. It's not even.
See, listen, Jackson. Here's the thing.
I promise I'll be live. That's good enough.
Exactly. I mean, here's the thing. Here's how I look at it. I mean, people enjoy us. I mean, they haven't left. They're still here with us.
Yeah, they're still here, man. They're still with us.
So apparently they're tolerating all three of us.
They ain't looking for nothing but a good time, man. That's all that matters.
Yeah. You can't be so serious. Why so serious? Jackson, this show is designed to go off the rails. See, BB understands. See, Jackson's like that disgusted father right now. He's just like, I told you kids, this is not how this show's going to go. And
it's like Barry with Sean Jackson, Steve, I'm Al, I guess, and you're Mercy or something. Austin or Peggy or one of them. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I see here. You got that Jackson is the regular guy. He's the regular guy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like the sarcastic, can get angry, go over the top kind of guy. And then Austin's the just over the top antagonizer of the Al character. And it's great. It's so hilarious, man. I don't know.
But anywho, obviously you can follow me on my channel as well, Sport Talk with Austin 2002. And like Jeffrey said, he will be live next week. And our next stop is, if you thought this list was wacky and nuts, get ready, because now we're on to the top 10 conference games for the season. And I'm sure me, Jeffrey, and Jackson are going to have a whole lot of debate about
it's gonna be harder for that. It's gonna be a lot more debating on that to put that list together than this one.
Yes, but we're looking forward to bringing it to you. If all goes well, we should be live next Sunday for that as well, and hopefully this time that show. Jackson, tell us how you really feel.
Yes.
But
yes, definitely, absolutely, as Jackson would say.
Yes, but hopefully we'll be live next Sunday with that, and then me and Jackson will begin our journey on predicting our conferences, and we will start with the Big 12. So we're going to start at the bottom, work our way up to either the Big 10 or SEC, whichever one. And then it should be season time, and then picks and analysis, the final whistle will be back, and that'll be more tame. It'll be just me and Jackson. Jeffrey over here, he gets the party started.
Yeah, you're gonna miss me though, man. You're gonna miss me. I'm sorry.
Jackson's like, I'm not gonna miss you at the moment.
Jackson might not, but he gets enough of that over on Alabama channel. But also, you're gonna miss the crazy.
See, here's the thing. I bring enough of it for the both of us. Jackson, we're gonna get in an argument over Stanford, Cal again. I have a feeling, or Rutgers, Iowa. I have a feeling. But with that being said, though, because Jackson is getting that dad face going, I know what that look is. Like, shut up. So
you got the look.
Got the look, baby. Anywho, let us know what you think down in the comments section below. Obviously, tell us if you agree with our list or disagree, or if you think we're way off the basis here. I mean. Or let us know what other shows you'd like to see. Maybe you want Jeffrey to call a baseball game. See if he can make that happen. I mean, Or maybe you want Jackson to interview a soccer person. Or maybe you want me to call a Cowboys game this year. We would all be open to it. You never know, but Jeffrey, take us out.
Definitely appreciate everybody for being here. It was a fantastic show because of you guys. Couldn't do it without you guys in chat. It's always a blast, and we will definitely see you guys next week. Have a great
Go
night.
Cards.
See you soon.